I have just one question for you. Are you ready?
Ready for what?
Ready for the Taco Knights podcast. Internationally renowned, with listeners from all around the world. Prepare yourself for super oral stimulation.
Welcome to the Taco Knights podcast. I'm your host, Keikoa, and our wonderful announcer is Ben.
Hola, muchachos.
Yeah, see? The man of one voices so far. No, two voices.
Hola, muchachos.
There we go. He's our sound man, our go-to guy. He also does sound effects, too.
Do I?
I guess not. No longer. The man of two voices and no sound effects.
I drew a blank. I wasn't ready.
We can't just throw to him. He needs time to prepare.
You didn't give me any material.
That was pretty good, though. That was a well done intro. I think I'm
only
also...
one of us, two of us will get the joke.
Yes, a very slim amount.
Maybe three.
Possibly. Maybe we should post something like that so everyone knows what we're talking about. Possibly.
Possibly.
So how are you doing, sir?
Doing good. Doing
Yep.
good.
Have a nice weekend.
Yes, I did.
What'd
Did
you-
a lot of traveling.
You don't get to travel that much because you're usually working a lot.
Normally I'm working, yes.
Yeah, so you don't get to. But you got
So
to
I'm
go.
traveling by commuting. Many, many miles.
You're already spending a lot of time in the car. This time you got to spend time in the car.
There's something to look forward to.
Right, as opposed to just your unhappy work.
Work. Right. Work. Yeah.
Where'd you go this weekend?
I forget how you pronounce it. Is it San Diego?
Yes.
What does that mean? It doesn't matter what it means.
I'm sure it's not important what it means because the people know what it means.
Something about a whale. That's all I remember.
Did you have a good time down there
Yes.
in San
Yes, we
Diego?
did.
Did you go see the sights and sounds of
I was
the
happy.
zoo? And
I got happy in San Diego.
San Diego.
Isn't that their slogan? Get happy?
Is that San Diego?
Yes.
Huh. Must have missed that.
The more you know.
Well, look at that. What'd you do down there?
Eat, mostly. Had a craving for Mexican food.
So you went to San Diego for Mexican food.
Tastes better than up here.
Is it because
So-
it's closer to the border or something?
Yes.
Is that like some kind of weird racial thing?
No.
Okay, good. More options? We got Taco Bells up here. We're good.
Taco Bell's, Del
We got
Tacos,
Taco
green
Bell. We got
burritos
the-
attached to Carl's Jr.
We got the good Mexican food up here too. But you went to like the restaurants down there and stuff, right?
Yeah. My favorite place to go is Old Town San Diego. Because they got kind of all that museum-y, edutainment type stuff.
Oh, did you go to the Whaley House?
We drove by it.
They've got ghosts in there. There's ghost in there.
And we also drove by it at night. And we saw one of the tours going on. I guess there's a graveyard kind of in that area.
Yeah. Well, because I remember when we did the ghost tour episode many moons ago now, we had a walking tour that went next to it, but didn't go inside the house.
Yeah, we saw people
Inside the house?
Yeah, they have tours inside the house, tours inside the graveyard that was next to it, I guess.
Is there one? Because I remember there's like...
I just remember seeing like tombstones and stuff.
Oh.
And there are people standing around like, hey, what's going on?
'Cause I know there's like the one I was on ends at a graveyard, but it's not there. It's like down the street kind of thing. But I mean, wait, you hadn't been on that. You haven't been inside that house, right? You just drove by this time, but you never been inside there, right?
No.
Oh.
Kind of didn't really plan too well. It's more spontaneous, so.
Oh, okay. But you did foods. You went foodie, full foodie on this one. What was the place you were saying that's good to eat at? Where you good Mexican?
Casa Guadalajara. That was my go-to place in the beginning. It was actually a restaurant that was there that was in the middle of Old Town. Like they had a shopping center plaza thing with a bunch of tiny little stores. Some of the stores sold like kind of kitsch stuff. And other stores had like oh, this is the root beer house. This is the churro place. This is the one that sells like.
I have been to the root beer place actually when I was down there. It was
expensive.
Well, they say, yeah. Well, I mean, they don't just have root beer. They had like tons of just
sodas.
weirdest. So, didn't you buy some weird? Not this time, but last time you bought some.
Not weird sodas.
You didn't buy anything like really crazy because they had like interesting. And they had some
like huckleberry soda.
I don't even know what a huckleberry is, except as a character.
In
like,
Mark Twain.
Exactly, like it's a person, right? Not a fictional person at that kind of thing. But no, it's an actual berry, which makes sense. But I don't think I've actually ever seen a huckleberry or had that in something like a pie, maybe? A huckleberry pie? Do they put that in pies? Is that a pie berry? Is that a berry you would put in a pie?
Very good.
It's like a boysenberry. You like boysenberry.
Boysenberry, yes. I know of boysenberry. Huckleberry, not too keen on.
Not too keen on.
Knowledge-wise, no.
Well, now boysenberry, you like boysenberry. Just pies and
it's
stuff.
like a little bit of blueberry, a little bit of raspberry, a little bit of blackberry. All in one without the seeds.
Now, does it always have... I thought it had seeds in it. Or the ones I always got had seeds in it.
You can get it seedless.
I think that tainted what I liked about it. Like, there's seeds in this, so I hate this now. So I think I never tried the seedless one, so I gave it a bum rap. So I didn't have to, because I know at Knott's Berry Farm they sell that's their big thing is boysenberry, pies and jams and stuff. But I'm like, I don't like boysenberry. But according to you, boysenberry is good.
Yes.
Okay.
You haven't had it at a Knott's Berry Farm? Like they have the boysenberry punch, boysenberry pie, boysenberry sherbet or ice cream. I think it's sherbet.
I didn't know they had the ice cream part because the last time I had Knott's Berry Farm was like 3 years ago now for I think New Year's Day. Carrie and I went there and we're like, let's get the chicken, and we did. We got the whole setup. We just brought it back home to eat at home because we just got it to go because it was ridiculous. Like the line. I heard it's always kind of ridiculous, isn't it? Like most of the time.
If you go early enough, then no.
Like on any holiday, regardless of what it is, like
if
New Year's, Christmas, Arbor,
and then
it's going to be bad. Well, because you guys were at Knott's Berry Farm, I didn't say not too long ago, but a couple months ago, right, or something like that.
Yeah, it was more like a kind of open for I guess some kind of industry thing, and ours was kind of sort of related to being in an industry.
But you didn't go to the restaurant. You didn't get any of the food. You went to the park.
Yeah.
But you didn't. Well, you thought there was going to be food in the park, but it only sold like the chicken in like certain places.
I was looking for the fried chicken. It's like, maybe you'll find it inside the park. Maybe they changed it. So
you would think so.
Find it.
But you can't.
No.
No.
They don't want to cannibalize the restaurant at all. So you either get it to go or eat at the restaurant.
Oh. Well, we have been meaning to do a fried chicken review of different fried chicken places, although I'm probably less inclined to do it now since I'm kind of watching my health a little better. So,
take one for the team.
Take one for the team. Take many for the team. Otherwise, I'll just
that's okay.
Shoot it directly into
Corey
my
will be
veins.
Here. He'll play cleanup.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, he'll clean up everything that we had left. I forgot what we had listed for what we wanted to try.
It was I think KFC just as a baseline.
But because
Popeyes.
KFC we always get anyway. That's always the go-to one because we're usually lazy. And then there's always a KFC around.
Popeyes. Churches.
Never had Churches.
Superior Chicken, Knott's Chicken.
Now Superior is the one from the market.
Yeah,
that chicken.
Superior Grocers.
Oh, right, okay. Which I never had either.
Albertson's Chicken.
That I have had. And it's okay.
Yeah.
They'll get your chicken fix, but it's nothing to write home about. Pioneer. Pioneer Chicken, because we were talking about Pioneer Chicken, but we'd have to go way out to wherever that one was we saw.
East LA was the closest one.
And we all nice and cold by the time we eat it.
And then the other one's like way out in the middle of LA, on the way to like nowhere near any of the freeways.
But it's weird is that when we did see it, it was like at that weird intersection that had like five.
I think it was like Olympic and something else.
Five ways into it, and it's like, oh, there it is. Oh, I think we got to go.
We passed it, but there was no freeway around it. You had to drive like a whole bunch.
You had to go into
like a long distance, just streets.
So maybe
like
that
4 or
might
5
be
to the
its
west
own thing because you can't get to it easily.
Yeah. But huckleberries, good.
So wait, so it is.
I don't know if it's just a San Diego thing or if it's just something they picked on to kind of market to tourists.
Well, because the drink ones, like we were saying, they had like a prickly pear. They had a bunch of different just flavors of drinks, not just root beers, but just drinks in general.
Yeah, we actually got another 6-pack.
Oh yeah, because you can. They have a bunch. They're all over the walls, but you can like mix and match your own 6-pack of whatever you want, kind of thing.
So we were like picking different things. I think I got a sarsaparilla and a root beer.
What's the difference between sarsaparilla and a root beer?
I guess a sarsaparilla is brewed from the root, and they don't really add anything else, so it's the most kind of has the most bite, I guess.
Like Barks.
More so than Barks, I would say.
But it has bite.
But Barks is still a root beer. That kind of leans more towards sarsaparilla, I guess.
You like sarsaparilla better than root beer?
Sweet. It depends on the person. Like if you like the sweetness, then you'd probably lean more towards root beer. Like if you got A&W root beer, that's not really my favorite, and it tastes. Actually, no, I would take that back. I would say Mug would be my least favorite, just because it says root beer, but when you drink it, it's so sugary and it tastes more like cream soda than root beer.
What about Dad's?
Yeah, Dad's is pretty good root beer. Barks is pretty good root beer.
Well, because I actually recently we had gotten some cream soda. I've never been a cream soda person, but I actually really like. They got the A&W one in the can, and I don't know. I must have grown into it because I remember before it was always too sweet for me or something. I didn't really care for it. Now we got like this 12-pack or whatever, and it's just like I'll have another one. I like it now, but I was never really a big fan before cream soda. Sounds like you're more of a root beer man than a cream soda.
Yeah.
Right.
Authenticity. Yeah, but root beer, I guess, has more of the flavors and sugars added to it, and sarsaparilla is a little bit more in the kind of just natural
side. Like
it's brewed and then some stuff added to it and then carbonated. So it's pretty raw, I guess.
You don't really see sarsaparillas, though, in the wild.
But you hear it on Schoolhouse Rock.
Well, there you go.
Sarsaparilla. Oh, and Yosemite Sam and Looney Tunes.
There you go. Those are your references. Or if you happen to be out and where they have, I was going to say old-timey stuff, like when you go to Old Town or a ghost town or a Wild West kind of thing, that's where they have sarsaparilla.
And we were in Old Town. No, but we picked up some other stuff too. There was we didn't get the prickly pear this time because we found out Cost Plus has a majority of the same sodas that they sell for cheaper, like $1 a bottle. Where over there it's like, I think $1.50 or $2 a bottle.
It's authentic
when you get the 6-pack. So I try to look for ones that you can't buy anywhere else, really. Yeah, I don't really recall too much about what else they had off the top of my head. Bottles are somewhere around here. But it was I think it was a Sioux City berry one. I think that one was blue. And I saw the cheer wine. Oh, that's what it was. It was they had a cherry ginger ale. I was like, that looks good. So I bought one. Or added one. And then, yeah, I can't remember what other sodas, but I got the sodas, and then there's also the roasted nuts that are like caramelized and sugared up and everything. So they had like walnuts and peanuts, almonds, cashews. They didn't have any macadamia nuts this time. Funny thing too, because it's like a lot of people, like you get to Hawaii, and it's like, oh, macadamia nuts, and
I am not a fan of macadamia nuts.
I like them.
You like them? Do you like them in the chocolate or just like straight out of the can or something like that? Because I know they
preferably in the chocolate.
In the chocolate? Because I mean, it's usually the thing that if people go, well, I guess now you can just buy it from the stores, but it used to be if they went to Hawaii, they'd bring back the
My dad used to inhale them.
Really?
And those little jars are expensive too.
Hmm. Really?
And they actually have macadamia nuts over there, but they don't really sell them. Different demographic in San Diego, I guess. Huh. They sell more of the peanuts or the mixed nuts blend. Hmm. But yeah, that's pretty good. And then I also stop by the Hot Lick store, get some hot sauce.
Now,
Saucy.
You eat a lot of, well, you've seen a lot of hot sauce, like the hot sauce stores, but weren't you telling me like a lot of it is made up of
vinegar?
Vinegar, right?
And sourness.
Yeah, like you'll see tons of them on the walls and such. Like when you go into one of those hot sauce places, but a lot of them are probably the samey kind of thing. For the most, they're not really hot. There was like a few that like usually come in smaller bottles.
It's almost kind of like different variations of Tabasco, where it's like it's spicy, but then at the same time it's kind of sour, so it doesn't really do anything to enhance the flavor. If anything, it kind of detracts from the flavor. So the ones I like are the ones that offer more of like a pure burn or have
almost like a natural extract kind of thing.
I guess, yeah.
Because some like it hot and you like it hot, but then that's your family thing, right? Because it's like a Thai thing, though, right? Thai is like hot kind of stuff. Is it always, or is that just your family?
No, in general, it's spicy.
It tends to be spicy.
The main courses are spicy and the desserts are sweet.
Oh, okay.
So
is it like the hotter the better kind of thing? Is a general rule of thumb?
Well, you remember last time I made my variant of spaghetti.
You mean the one that's
quote
burn
unquote
off
Thai
your
spaghetti?
Yeah.
I actually made a separate batch just for you for the sauce. And
I
you had
remember.
it and you're like,
very
it's
insulting.
Good. You're like, this is really good. And then you're like, I'm curious about the spicy one that you're making. Let me try that. And you try it and it's like, oh, this is really good. And it's like, it burns.
It was pretty bad.
And then you went back to the non-spicy one.
Couldn't do it.
And you're like, where's all the flavor?
It's true. It was the one you made in the big pot, not the kitty pot for me, or bowl for me, the non-spicy one. Which thank you for worrying about me, but yeah, it lacked all the flavor. But the thing was, the other one was so hot. Like I was eating it and it was delicious, but it was so hot it was making me sweat. Like Corey too, and Corey's at least more used to it, so it was worse for me, I think. Because it was delicious, but I was just like, I was almost getting a workout just eating it because I was sweating off all of the stuff I think I was eating. But it was good.
Yeah, that's one of the things about, well, at least the spices that I use when I cook. It really does enhance the flavor.
It's not just spicy for spicy's sake. Like,
no,
it's hot. It sucks, but it's hot, and that's all you want, right?
And there's this one restaurant that we ate at in Vegas, and Claudia was eating. Well, I ordered the foods, and I was like, "How spicy you want?" It's just hot, 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 hot. Little did I know that the guy over there saw that. It's like, "Oh, okay, I think you're Thai, so I'm gonna make it not American hot. I'm gonna make it Thai hot." So you raise that by a factor of like 3.
It's a dangerous term. You're just like, you can't just throw it out there, because if they know, they're like, oh, hot. I get what you're talking about.
So it came out, the plates were covered in like chili powder and everything, and it was all cooked and mixed in. So when you cook it, then a lot of the oils start to kind of bleed out into the food. Adds a lot more flavor, also adds a lot more burn. And Claudia started eating it, and she's like, it's good, but it burns. So she was taking breaks in between, and then it got to the point where it's like, if you eat it constantly, the burn stops, and then it kicks in like into full burn mode once you stop putting food in your mouth.
So you just keep shoveling it in there, staving off the burn that you know is coming.
And you enjoy the flavor, and then when you finish, you're like, oh god, and then you just chug down water. Like, it's not doing anything. More water, just leave the pitcher here. And they did.
But it's not going to help, right? Because, well, I mean, slightly, only because stuff is moving around, I'm guessing, but it's not really satiating the burn itself.
Yeah, that's kind of why you get like the Thai iced tea, because then that's like a sweet tea, and they put in like kind of like a cream or a milk in there, and that
so there's a method to the madness. It's like you get the food with this specific drink, and it's nice to drink, and it might help you a little bit more than water will help you.
Right. And then the desserts are usually really sweet too. So depends what you get. But a lot of people like the mango sticky rice.
Now I know, compared to our group of friends, you eat the hottest. Usually, you're like the one that's kind of the top, but you're not the top of your family.
No.
Are you like the low end of it?
I am the low end.
You're the low end, but you're around us. You're like, oh, if it's not. It's only hot if Ben thinks it's hot, like, and that's usually going to kill lesser people when we're in our group. But when he goes home and eats, he's the cub. He's the one. He's the lowest on the bench. Because I think you're saying your brother, like,
he goes nuts with it.
Like
he'll like start eating, and then starts breaking out in a sweat and start breathing heavily, but he'll still keep at it.
Soldier
like a champ.
Like, yeah, that's what I remember you told me. It's like that guy. Let's just keep going. More power to him. I'll just be like, I'm done. My head's gonna explode. Of course, I haven't been trained in it. Like I like hotter stuff than Carrie does, because Carrie doesn't like hot stuff at all. So I'm above her in that section, and then I come around you, and I'm like down at the bottom, kind of thing. I don't know if Claudia's into the hotter stuff.
Well, she wasn't at first, and then just kind of eating,
being around you. You have changed her.
I've acclimated her palate to the spicy side.
Just over time,
it's
slowly
gradual.
but surely.
So she's not allergic to spicy food anymore, so to say.
But you didn't eat anything really spicy when you were down in San Diego. Well, not for you anyway.
Actually,
oh, what?
A little bit.
Oh, wait, did you buy some hot sauce from the hot sauce place?
Yeah. I did.
Oh, okay. Must have been something you really thought was going to be hot, as opposed, because you're kind of, I wouldn't say a hipster or anything, but you seem to know your hot sauces. Like, it seems, or at least compared to me, because I don't really know too much about hot sauces. I think I know Tabasco and the normal stuff, like your srirachas and that kind of thing. But you seem to know more about like what's good and what's bad.
The funny thing is that they sold sriracha there, but they didn't sell any Tabasco. Like Tabasco,
we are so much better than that. Yet they've got like walls covered with the most weirdest name things. But that's the thing. There's so many. I wouldn't even know where to start. But I guess you could sample anything in there, right?
Yeah, you can actually sample most of the sauces. They're like, we have salsas and sauces. If you're curious about any, feel free to ask us and you can try it. And some of those, if you're not really sure about, definitely try it, because they're like, oh, it's kind of like a Tabasco. But I found one that was pretty cool. Well, Claudia found one. And then she's like, okay, well, let's buy it and see how it is. It looks good.
So you bought it without trying it then?
Well, this one, yeah, just because some of them you can kind of tell. You know. But this is green Amazon sauce, so it's Amazon hot.
Is Amazon hot? Is it hot for people from the Amazon? They think it's hot. It's like, this is a real deal.
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Yes.
Are you just going to pour it into something?
And this is actually from Colombia. So,
the Amazonian Colombia.
Yes.
That part of the Amazon.
Yes.
The Colombian Amazon.
Yes.
That's where they like it hot.
Yes.
It's an interesting color. I can't see it, but it's like
a chartreuse almost. Like,
wow, you're getting classy with our colors. I was going to go with like a yellow.
Like a pepperoncini color.
Huh?
Like a pepperoncini color.
Okay, pepperoncini color?
Yeah.
What did you say?
I don't know.
Did you say pepperoncini?
Pepperoncini?
Pepperoncini, okay.
Pepperoncini?
It does look like that. Yeah, that's a good idea of what it looks like. And it's ideal, it says, for tacos, seafood, poultry, soups, and pasta. It's going to end up in your next spaghetti sauce.
And then before I show you these ones, let me show you just the rating on it, on both bottles, and read what those say to me.
Those say insane.
And the thermometer's pegged all the way to the top.
I mean, insane-y. Those are, you held up two and they had like...
This one is called Temporary Insanity.
Oh, good.
This other one's called Total Insanity.
Huh. So can you only have the total insanity and not go back to the temporary? Because once you reach totality, then you might as well... There's no temporary about it.
Well, one of them, the tagline is, for the temporary insanity, it says temporary pain, lingering pleasure. And the other one says total insanity. It's like insane heat with a garlicky flavor.
That's weird.
So there's actually flavor to the hot sauce, which is why I like it.
Like...
And then there's a warning on here. It says, warning, use this product one drop at a time. Keep away from eyes, pets, and children. Not for people with heart or respiratory problems. Shake well and refrigerate after opening.
Oh, so don't leave near an open flame.
This is Dave's Gourmet Hot Sauce. So those are those two bottles. I'll put a picture up on Facebook.
It's just temporary pain on the temporary insanity, but I thought when you said the total insanity, it's like total pain and insanity. But they didn't even say that. They're just like insane heat kind of thing.
Yeah, but I've had good experience with the Dave's hot sauces because they tend to have the flavor with minimal sourness to it.
Now, these are like kind of like full bottles kind of thing. Like where I remember you had bought one that was a lot smaller, like the bomb or whatever it was. That was in a smaller one that you like, because this one says, like you said, use in like drops or something. You just drop it in.
Yeah.
Right. You don't go Tabasco or Sriracha with this stuff. You're going drops. But it's a lot in here for a lot of drops.
When I made that big vat of spaghetti, like how many quarts was it? Like 8 to 10 quarts of spaghetti.
I think the one that almost killed me. That one.
I think I only used like maybe 3 to 5 drops of the bomb hot sauce in there.
This is a pretty big pot, so
yeah, like a stock pot basically.
But these ones, that was in a smaller. That came in kind of like a small bottle, like a tiny bottle kind of thing, right? Or did it come in the
like
same?
Half the size of, say, like your ordinary hot sauce bottles, like a Tabasco bottle, not Tabasco, Tapatio, or I would say probably Tabasco size.
Yeah,
if you look at the small Tabasco bottles,
the smaller one,
it looks like
kind of like mini bar Tabasco sauce.
Yeah,
but these ones, I mean, they made sense because you're going to use drops of it. So if you're going to use drops, then it's like, well, you don't really need a giant amount in theory. But these ones, they come in bigger bottles, so I guess you're going to be using more of it, right?
Sure.
Well, you haven't tried it yet.
I haven't tried it yet.
I mean, I'm looking forward to spaghetti night again.
I should do a video of like everyone taste testing the hot sauces that I have.
And everyone's different reactions, because you're going to have like barely any reaction. You're like, that's fine.
And I think, I did one with Corey about the bomb, and then they had I think it was a Hot Licks XXX rated hot sauce. And I think I got one that was like a Trinidad scorpion pepper.
Is that like the hottest pepper ever?
I think so.
Currently.
Yeah, I don't remember if that's what the official name for the ghost pepper was. Oh yeah, it's the boot Jacula Jaluk something. Ghost pepper. Yeah, so the Scorpion Trinidad Viper chili, I think, beat that one out. But I don't know if they kind of did their genetic modification thing for the peppers and
biologically modified to kill you.
Selectively breeding the
built for
peppers.
warfare.
That's what mace is. Pepper spray.
It's what?
I think they use like ghost peppers and stuff in there.
Huh.
Like ground it up and put oils in there so it sticks to your face, and then you just spray it at people.
Have you ever had ghost pepper? Just like straight? Like not in like a hot sauce or anything?
No, I bought the ghost pepper flakes off of Amazon. It looks just like a regular red pepper bottle that you put on pizzas. I put in my parents' cabinet. And of course they didn't know what ghost peppers were.
Oh, good.
And then I had them try it out. I was like, here, just try it out. It was actually not that hot, just because it's already been dried out and stuff. But if you use it in cooking and then you kind of reintroduce moisture into it and kind of let the heat bring out the pepper oils. Then it blends more into the food. And then you can actually taste it. So I think I made bean dip or something with it one time. And that made it pretty hot. Not unbearable, but just like it had a good heat to it. And my mom's like, what the heck did you do?
So you never actually had like just the pepper and just boom, right in the mouth?
No, but they sell those there at the store. If you're ever down there, you can check it out. It's like a tiny little jar. It's really expensive, and it's got like 8 peppers in there.
Really?
Just
so you can't just buy it from the store? Oh, I know they don't sell them.
Oh, you can buy a grow your own kit too in the store.
But like, I know they don't have them at like the Ralph's or anything. You can just roll up and.
No.
I wonder why.
No one would buy it.
Well, then again, I think what's the hottest one they usually sell? Like habanero, maybe the hottest one they sell.
I think so, yeah.
And from what I've heard, even the ones that they usually have at Ralph's tend to be, because not all peppers are the same. Like one habanero or one ghost pepper is not the same as if you grow it a certain way, kind of thing. I feel they're like a little milder at Ralph's. Like even the ones you'd get like a jalapeno or a habanero, when you get them from Ralph's, they're not as hot as if you get them from like maybe like a Superior supermarket or.
Yeah, usually the ethnic supermarkets will carry the ones that are more
potent.
Have greater potency versus the American markets.
Yeah, the American markets
It's like Albertsons, Ralph's, and all that. Vons. It's like, oh, well, that's not very hot at all.
Yeah, I could totally take that. It's like
you throw in like 3 jalapenos into the blender when you're trying to make a salsa or something. It's like, nothing.
Did you try the jalapenos from like Superior? Or?
Yeah, I threw those in, thinking, because the first time I made it was with the ones from Ralph's, and it's like, it's not that bad. And then I did the ones from Superior because that was same distance but the other direction from the house. It's like, oh, like they have jalapenos and they're cheaper and hotter. So I threw 3 in there, and like, oh my god,
it melted the blender. You need a new blade for it.
Not quite. I tasted and like, whoa, okay, this is my level. This might be too hot for everyone else.
This is going to kill everyone else. I do not want to commit homicide via these jalapenos. Well, I mean, I guess they don't want to scare off the people for that buy at Ralph's. Like, I'm just going to buy this for my salsa. And it's not that hot. Like, you can handle these, right? Like, don't get the real stuff. It'll kill you. Assumably, if you got, and that was the jalapenos, those were not the hottest, obviously. If you got the habaneros from Superior. Right.
And I actually didn't buy any habaneros because I have some frozen in the freezer that just keep thrown in a blender every now and then. Add that extra heat, extra sizzle. So, yeah, usually I don't really have a use for the peppers in my cooking all that often. Like those kinds of peppers.
Not the straight peppers. But now you got these hot sauces that you
gotta
usually
give a
try.
If I don't have peppers on hand, I'll just dump hot sauce into there. You're like, oh, there you go. Close enough.
So you got to report back on just how insane these actually are.
Well, I'm actually amassing quite a collection at this point. It's like,
everyone's got to collect something, and yours is apparently now hot sauce. Soon it's going to look like those stores that have them lined on the walls and stuff, and you're like, this is a good one.
No, not that.
Or you're going to have like a hot sauce.
Dedicated fridge
hot
for
sauce cellar. Let's go down to my hot sauce cellar. This was a good year.
You got to keep it cool out of the sunlight.
Exactly. You're aging your hot sauces at that point. It was a good year for hot sauce.
I'm a hot sauce connoisseur.
Yes, you like open it, but you just smell it a little bit. Burns the nostrils. Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
You can almost smell the oak that this was aged in.
Or the bottle it's been sitting in for a while.
Like a mild forest fire.
Like a distant forest fire.
Tingling your nostrils.
So you got the hot sauce. You went to your place. Did you go to the Candy's place?
Yeah. Actually, I have another bag, but it's the thing that they're known for there is the saltwater taffy because they pull it straight in the window.
It seems like all those old-timey places have the saltwater taffy as their thing.
But it's actually good. They have Huckleberry Taffy.
Yeah.
There it comes again. And
apparently,
then,
Huckleberry making a comeback, or
at least over
showing up anywhere. I don't even know what a Huckleberry looks like, but now I'm going to want to know.
Huckleberry Hound.
Except for the hound. So if it's made of dog, that's terrible. Why are we having... I don't want dog taffy. No, it's terrible. Yeah, I think about dog taffy now. But
doggone it.
Doggone it. It was like Huckleberry Hound. I wonder how many people even get, like, I guess we get it, but younger people, if you said that, probably wouldn't.
It's funny, that's not even my generation.
That's not even our generation, but I get it. I wonder if our generation would get it, if it's maybe around that time, because it was before our generation, technically, so only if you watched old-timey Boomerang, cartoons on Boomerang or something, or was it when we were younger, was it at least still...
Yeah, I think it was still there, like in the Saturday morning slots when all the TV shows were running cartoons, or channels were running cartoons in the morning.
Like Hanna-Barbera cartoons, because Huckleberry...
Yeah, because I remember they were playing, like, they were still showing reruns of Flintstones and Jetsons and all that stuff. Not anything really old like Betty Boop, but they were still showing Woody Woodpecker.
Oh. They show Magilla Gorilla?
I don't remember that.
Okay. I was trying to think of just Hanna-Barbera. Well, there's Flintstones, Jetsons, those are the bigger ones. But, like, the shorts, like Huckleberry Hound, Snagglepuss. Remember that one?
No.
Not ringing a bell? Quick Draw McGraw.
Is that the horse?
Yes.
Okay.
El Kabong. So you remember Huckleberry Hound, which is interesting.
And was it Droopy Dog? Dippy Dog? No, Droopy Dog.
Well, I think it's called him Droopy.
Droopy.
I don't even know now. I don't know if I'm getting that right either.
Dippy Dog was Goofy's original name before he became Goofy.
Right. But Droopy, I think, and
Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck.
Well, doesn't count because they're still around now. Dippity Duck. I'm just making stuff up.
Dip.
But yeah, those cartoons that just weird. Top Cat? What about Top Cat? Remember that?
Was he like a purple cat with a top hat and a bow tie? Or is he orange?
No, he was a yellow cat, but he wore a vest. I think that was purple.
Oh,
and he had a cat. He had the hat.
Vaguely recall
Maybe
that.
vaguely. Maybe vaguely.
Maybe vaguely.
I was thinking about
Vaguely,
Heathcliff though, but I mean that was later on. That was kind of closer to our. Actually, no, that was probably our generation.
Yeah,
Heathcliff.
that one was. I remember reading comics because it would be like, there's Garfield and there's not Garfield.
There's the other not Garfield one.
He's also orange. Yeah.
Yes, Heathcliff, but Garfield came out first, right?
Yes. And then they had Garfield and Friends, the TV show, where it was like half Garfield and then half
US
Orson
Acres.
the Pig and the rest of the farm.
Yeah, that was. I get all nostalgic on old school cartoons that no longer are relevant anymore. Is Garfield even? No, Garfield's technically not just merchandising. They don't have the cartoons anymore.
No.
Do you still appear in Sunday morning comics? Or
no.
Okay.
Peanuts do. But then Peanuts has always been around. It's kind of been a marketing.
But Peanuts is classic Peanuts, right? It's not. There's nothing new.
Yeah, it's classic. They don't have any new ones.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
And Knott's Berry Farm is basically the home of a bunch of the Peanuts characters now.
Well, they're the ones that they've
commercially.
I wonder how that even came about, because as long as I've known, they've always been connected to Knott's Berry Farm, because Disney has Disney characters.
Well, not always, but pretty early on.
Because I remember they had Camp Snoopy.
Yeah.
I remember that when I was younger. Like, oh, Camp Snoopy and stuff.
And then that kind of spread throughout the rest of the park. It's kind of like when Magic Mountain got Looney Tunes characters, and then that kind of went by the wayside.
I wonder, a lot of that was mostly focused on the kiddie area.
Yeah, and
like
then
they
that
had the
became
rides,
like Thomas
but
the
then
Train.
Oh, is that now?
And then that went by the wayside.
Oh,
so now they
only
only have
time you wear it, Magic
DC,
Mountain.
I think.
Well, I guess it makes sense. They have the Superman, Batman,
like
Riddler,
Luthor, Drop-a-Doon, and all that stuff. Yeah,
actually, yeah, it does. It makes a lot more sense that they have DC now, because they
Gotham backlot.
They just made a bunch of rides dedicated to DC. So yeah, I guess. And now that superheroes and comics are kind of popular again, or well, popular mainstream, it makes more sense to like really use it. Although when it comes to DC, maybe hitching your ride to the wrong horse. Maybe. I mean, who knows? Next year we'll know.
We'll see.
We'll have to wait and see. Although, I think we talked about it last time, but DC is going to have a rough time of it. I mean, I think we were talking about that they should use because we were watching The Flash and Arrow just came back on from their hiatus a couple weeks ago. So
you've been watching Arrow, I've been watching The Flash.
I watched both, Arrow and The Flash. You just watched The Flash. Because it's been the first season so far. So
and
you started...
Gotham.
Oh, and Gotham. I haven't been watching Gotham, actually. I watched all the way to the season, the midpoint, I guess. And then I think they've come back, and I haven't really watched it. And I remember when we started, I was against it. I remember Steven here. I was like, I don't really like it. And then later I'm like, okay, I like it now. Now I'm like, how do I really want to watch it? Because it takes because I'm watching Arrow, Flash, and Agent Carter.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's 2 DCs in a Marvel, so I think I'm doing pretty well. But, I mean, I totally forgot about Gotham. I gotta watch that. I think Agent Carter might be done now for the season. Or mid-season. They're mid-season right now?
Yeah.
Because you were saying they switch off,
yeah, and then
right?
S.H.I.E.L.D.'s going to come back. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah. I remember I think it's Marvel only has the one show right now, right? Currently.
Yeah, and then once Netflix premieres all their stuff, like Daredevil and...
Luke Cage, I think?
Yeah, and then one more.
One more. I can't remember what it is. It's not someone I know, so even Luke Cage I don't really know too much about. It's going to be interesting, though, because Netflix always releases everything at the same time.
Right.
So, it's going to be like drop, binge watch kind of thing. It's not going to be on a weekly kind of thing where you have to wait a week. So, should be an interesting thing how it is. I think I did see the trailer for the Daredevil one. I haven't read a lot of Daredevil stuff. I mean, I think I'd like the character. I just haven't had a chance to read it.
You saw the trailer, though, right?
I think I did, but it was a while ago.
It felt very teaser-ish, like not much really behind it, but then it's like, oh, well, okay, I got it. It has potential.
And I already have Netflix, so...
Yeah.
Excuse me. So I guess I'll probably watch it anyway. I've been sick lately, so I've been spending time on Netflix watching stuff. So I binge watch all of House of Cards, which is coming back.
Still haven't seen it yet.
I don't know if you'd like it. I'd like to hope so, but I wonder how it got so popular and stuff. Because
I've been watching Walking Dead.
Dead.
This weekend I missed Sunday. Luckily I had it recorded.
I am well behind now. I think I'm a season, or maybe at least half a season behind.
I was in San Diego. What was your excuse?
I didn't watch it. That was my excuse. I kind of watched all of them in a row, too, when I was trying to catch up to you so I'd have something to talk about with it. And then for some reason I stopped watching it, and then...
Yeah, it's getting pretty crazy again. Like, you're seeing things, but then this time you have the whole kind of... You have all the old episodes and everything that happened before as kind of... that you can fall back on for hindsight. It's like, well, this is what you're going into now, and you're really feeling like you're part of Rick's group, and you're like, don't trust anyone, or what's their angle, or what's this and what's that, and it's like, am I really being that paranoid? Nah.
Now, Walking Dead is on Netflix, right? Not the newest season, but I think the last season. So I think I was watching it on there. But Netflix is coming out with a lot of new stuff. They got the Daredevil stuff, well, the Marvel stuff.
Yeah.
They got the Legend of Zelda, possibly coming up.
Well, they're investing a whole bunch of new original content for themselves.
Wait, no, is that Netflix or is that Amazon?
Netflix.
That's getting the Legend of Zelda thing.
I think that was Netflix.
Okay. But they're also, I heard, getting Inspector Gadget.
Yeah.
But then even more recently read that it's actually a CGI thing, so it's not going to be like the Legend of Zelda one, which is like a live action thing, which boggles my mind. But it's supposed to be. I think it's already come out in Europe, so it's not going to be new for us or something, and completely new.
Yeah.
But I mean, they got so much new content, and I guess now they're really competing against Amazon. Amazon's I get instant watch
sauce?
kind of thing. not that Amazon, but I think the Amazon streaming service that's going against Netflix. I think they're like coming up with new programming.
Prime Video.
Prime Video.
Yeah.
So Netflix got competition, but Netflix got a lot of good shows, right?
Yeah. Like, it's almost like they're kind of like the leaders now in that segment, and Amazon and company like Hulu and whatever are trying to catch up
with original programming, because like Netflix got House of Cards, Orange is the New Black, which I was meant to watch but I didn't get a chance to.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of anything else they did, but
the Turbo TV series.
Oh, the series, yeah,
not TV, but like the episodes.
Because I mean, we don't really watch TV anymore. I mean, you have shows recorded from TV, but I mean, if they showed Walking Dead on Netflix instead, you'd probably just switch to Netflix anyway, right?
Yeah.
You don't really find yourself watching TV.
And then you get to the point where the credits roll, and then 10 seconds, it's like, do you want to... The next episode will start playing in 10 seconds unless you click here.
Like, I want to go to sleep all too late.
Click on... it started playing. Too late. I've gone too far.
I'll just watch this next episode then. One more episode, and then I'll go to sleep.
You need to get out more often. Get some Ultimate Green burritos.
Yeah. Hungry for burritos now. I don't know why.
Actually, that was at Casa Guadalajara in San Diego. That was actually one of the best carnitas burritos I've had.
You heard it here. Best carnitas burrito anywhere.
So far.
Anywhere.
So far that I've had.
So saith Ben.
Not a real professor.
So saith Ben.
Yeah, basically it was like a burrito in like a regular giant tortilla, and they didn't really put anything else besides like carnitas, but cooked like fajita style almost. So like bell peppers, onions, and a whole bunch of seasoning and sauce and stuff in there. So very savory and moist, not like dry or anything. Wrapped in a burrito, covered in green sauce. Whoops. Covered in green sauce and cheese.
Now, do you ever order fajitas? Like
it always intrigues me when I see people order it and they walk by with the plates and they're like...
I remember I was like out with my mom, we were talking about it. It's like, I think it's kind of like entertainment food. Like, it's really cool when it gets to your table or when they're carrying it somewhere and it's like, yeah, it's like, ooh, what's that kind of thing? And it smells good kind of thing.
Especially as they walk it by your table on purpose, they like kind of dip it by your nose
like,
as they pass by your table.
Like, oh, okay, come on. But then again, anytime I've gotten fajitas, for some reason, like, I'm going to get it. It's always been the crappiest pieces of meat ever. I mean, I guess it depends on the place, but...
Yeah, that really depends on the place. You definitely don't want to get at, like, El Torito or any of the kind of chain Mexican restaurants.
But the thing is, it always looks the same. Like, the entertainment part always happens the same way regardless of where you are.
Right. So,
I just always have bad luck whenever I've actually had it. With the meat, because you're so stunned by the sizzle that when you get to the steak, you're like, oh, this is pretty crappy cuts of the steak.
Well, one of the other things too, like my brother got this plate for the first time, or when we went there, I forgot how long ago, but it was the carne asada plate, and it's like kind of like a flank steak, but it came out sizzling like the carne asada. I don't think it was on a cast iron skillet. I could be wrong, but it was like super tender, super moist, and full of flavor. It's like, whoa, you don't need to add anything to this. You just stab it with a fork and eat it. And like, oh, so good.
So you didn't get that one.
Yeah, so
I've
had
poor experiences with Anytime I've ordered fajitas.
Yeah, I've had that one before. I'm sure their fajitas would be pretty good too. Asterisk to that statement would be you don't want to go too early and you don't want to go too late, because then at that point the cooks don't care yet. Or in the morning they don't care yet enough, and at the evening they're just tired. Kind of find that middle ground, like before it gets to that lunch rush or the dinner rush.
Well, in the dinner rush, assuming they're going to care at that point, at least.
Yeah.
These might not have as much time to care because
Right.
Fast and Furious. But it's always been something I've always noticed, at least a few times. Because I usually don't order it anyway.
Yeah.
I usually have something else anyway. So.
And that restaurant's actually pretty popular during the lunch and dinner periods. Casa Guadalajara.
Oh.
So I would say kind of do not early lunch, late lunch or early dinner as your ideal time to go.
Is that the same time?
Could be.
I was like thinking about it. I was like,
there.
late lunch, so after lunch, early dinner, before dinner.
You kind of have a long period of time.
You're trying to get in there, though, when it's not too busy.
Like when lunch is tapering off or when dinner's about to begin, like starting to ramp up.
Okay.
And I think that's true for any restaurant in terms of trying to get that consistent quality. I noticed if you go during like peak dinner rush, the food will generally come out either undercooked or overcooked. So,
and then you send it back. Do you send food back?
Pro tip. Not really.
Or do you just like suck it up?
Unless it's really bad, then I'll send it back. But generally, I haven't really had to do it.
But I mean, your food. You're less
I'm not
inclined.
super nitpicky about it. Like it's like, oh well, it's not like how it was last time. Take it back.
You're not like that.
No.
Even though you paid for it, right? You're not going to be like, I want it one way and only one way. And this is not that way.
This was better last time. It's not how I remember it. Well, tough.
Do it again. But I guess if you're kind of like a jerk like that, though, maybe
then you'll get it back with spit.
Yeah, because that's the thing. But then,
whoops! It fell on the floor. Let me cook off the bacteria.
Exactly.
Why is there a hair in my food? It's your hair.
It's yours. It just got here. Still yours.
Yeah, but there was this other restaurant that we were at, and it's at the Best Western Hotel that's kind of across the parking lot from Old Town. It's called a Tequila Bar, and their food's really good. At first, I thought Casa Guadalajara kind of was on the top of the list, and then after eating there this past trip, it's like, wow, this tops that. Even though you check on Yelp and both of them only got 3.5 stars. And I was like, I use a star rating kind of as a guideline of kind of steering me where to go. 3.5 stars is usually my minimum.
So it had 3 stars. So you changed that. You made that. So you didn't rate it, did you?
I did not rate
it. You did not help them at all. You're like, yeah, 3 stars, and it's going to stay that way.
It's only for the listeners of this podcast. It's a secret.
It's like, he is way too lazy to change it. It's like, man, they are much better than everyone says they are. So you tell anyone on Yelp? Nope.
There was another restaurant that was really highly rated. People rated them high because I guess they got free stuff if they checked in on Yelp. And if they used I think they had a Yelp coupon maybe that got them 10% off or 20% off their bill. And we ate there and it's like, man, this sucks worse than the Casa Guadalajara.
Maybe it would have been better if you got free stuff.
No, we did. We used the coupons and stuff and not
even free can salvage this.
No.
It is beyond free salvage.
I mean, it was better than El Chorrito, but it wasn't what the food that we're expecting to get, really good Mexican food.
Well, also the problem is there's so many places down there.
There's tons of places.
So, I mean, obviously some of them are going to be lower tier, but how do you know until you go? Apparently you can't trust Yelp to a certain extent.
Just as a guideline.
Just as a guideline, apparently. Yeah. There you go.
But their food, pretty much everything we ordered is really good. What do we have? The chili rellenos.
It's a tequila bar, right?
Really good. What else? Taquitos, really good. I got the giant taco tostada salad thing with beef. Really, really good.
So you spend time not eating? Or you just go from... It sounds like you went from restaurant to restaurant to restaurant.
No, in between going to restaurants, we bought sodas and hot sauce and candied nuts and...
So between restaurants, you went and got food.
And paintings.
And you ate paintings. Wait, no.
Now, there's this guy in front of one of the shops out there in that kind of museum-ish plaza. And he was doing finger painting, like with oil paints on glass. So he would kind of paint freehand, but without any pictures of guy, just kind of looking at the thing, and he'll put in the sky, the horizon line. Then all of a sudden you look at it and it's like, this is all his fingers. And he has a thing with like trees and seagulls and sunset and a lighthouse, and like depending which one, like he'll do like forest or like a beach scene. And
that sounds pretty cool. You bought one?
We bought two.
You bought two?
We bought one that we liked, and then there was a second one that we, I guess, air quotes, commissioned him to do.
Make this for me.
They're like, well, Claudia went up to him and she's like, I like this picture, but we bought this one. Can you make this one match the colors on the one that we just bought? It's like, yeah, sure, no problem. So he did.
Whatever, your money works here.
So here's a picture that he did by hand, finger.
I am looking at a picture right now. We'll post it to the Facebook, but
and
it looks pretty cool.
A mountain, waterfall, trees, flowers, birds, all that stuff.
Very vibrant. It's on, what is it on?
A sheet of glass.
Sheet of glass.
And oil paint with his one finger. Well, he uses just the one finger as his paintbrush.
Okay. This is like, and he only has one finger. And that's what he uses. His one finger.
Yes. Exactly. But when it starts out, you can see it's very plain looking. And then it quickly goes from that to like all these crazy paintings. Okay, there.
Sorry for the silence, but he's just showing me. Yeah, they got a lot of cool stuff done by his
like
finger.
The San Diego Bridge and all this. It looks like he does it with a paintbrush, but it's all by hand, literally. So we bought two of those, and he had a sale. It's like weekend special. If you want to buy the small one, I think it was 10 for the small ones, which were kind of like postcard sized, so like miniature ones. And then they had medium ones, which were a little bit bigger, and those were $20. And then the large ones are $25. And like, hey, there's the value right there. $25 ones for the big one.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, got that. And I'll post those pictures up too.
So a pretty successful trip to San Diego with food and paintings abound. Oh, and food.
Yes. But the spiciness that you're talking about, like the tequila bar, you got our food and everything, and it's like, oh, is there anything else that you want when they brought us our food? And it's like, oh, can you get some extra salsa? You know, pour on like the burritos and stuff.
Right.
Makes it taste better than hot sauce.
Right.
And they're like, yeah, sure, let me bring some out. Well, the waitress, she takes like 2 steps away, comes back, and it's like, do you guys like spicy? Yes.
Dangerous question.
It's like, I'll be right back. So she brings out this this bowl of salsa.
She brings out this waiver for you to sign.
And instead of looking red, it's orange with a bunch of like chunkiness, like tomatoes and peppers and green onions and all that stuff. And we tried it out. I'm like, oh, this is really good. There's way more flavor than the original salsa, which was also pretty good and still better than Casa Guadalajara. It's like, huh. Should special request this next time. Like, can you bring out 2 of the extra hot salsas? One for me, one for you.
One for me, and the other for me.
Yeah, pretty much. And the margaritas, should mention.
Because you got to get your drink on.
Well, both places are known for their margaritas, especially the tequila bar, because you can't have a margarita without tequila.
Mm.
But I guess Casa Guadalajara is known more for their big dish margarita. So it's almost like a big kind of shallow bowl on a stem, and that's your margarita glass if you get the extra large one. And I guess it's supposed to be meant for sharing. Supposed to be.
Until I drank it all.
Depends on who's drinking, but yeah. And then the other one, if you actually get free margaritas, they give you welcome drinks if you stay at the hotel. So it's like, hey, here's some coupons for you. Go try our restaurant out. And I am glad I did, because now that's my new number one favorite. So, Tequila Bar, San Diego.
Top of the charts.
Top of the charts for right now.
For now. Because it's not like there's a bunch of other places to go to. Still.
There's a lot of places. Oh yeah, we also got nachos there.
Because of course you did.
Even though we had chips and salsa, I'm like, that's a bit redundant, but nachos look amazing.
That will not stop you from getting your nacho on. This man loves nachos.
I do.
He does. But then again,
you still got to go back to Vegas to Bally's and get those like super nachos.
The ones that defeated us the last time we were there?
Were there 4 or 5 of us?
4.
And we couldn't finish it? I think we still had like maybe half? No, a little bit less than half left.
Probably less than half, but not by much. It was
pretty
still
close to half.
We needed a banana for scale, but it was a lot.
2/5.
It was a lot of nachos. We are not prepared. But then maybe next time now we know. Well, because you knew. Because you and Claudia had been before. So you had seen it before.
Yes. And that one I actually... I think that's where I did the hairdryer trick. Because we didn't have a microwave in the room. So we had the nachos in a to-go box. And went to sleep. Well, that was our 3 a.m. snack. Got to the room, fell asleep, woke up, and it's like, oh, it's lunchtime. Not too hungry. It's like, got nachos, got a hairdryer. Stuck the nachos, put the nacho box in the sink, put the hairdryer and wired it up in a way where just fire right at the nachos. Crank that up to like high heat and just let it run for like 5-10 minutes. And before you know it, it's like the room started smelling like food. Like, that smells good. I'm hungry now.
How'd they come out?
Chips were all crispy and nice and toasted. The food was all hot. It's like, oh, it worked.
So
I MacGyvered a microwave, a bathroom microwave.
Gotta keep it crispy.
Yeah. Because, nachos get soggy after you store them for a while, but none of them were soggy.
Huh. You found the secret. You cracked the code.
Life pro tip. So, yeah, that was my San Diego trip. Fun times.
Fun times. So what else is going on out there in the news?
News in terms of tourism, we'll head over to Disneyland.
Everyone's surprised by that. Raise their hands. This is a podcast.
Wait, am I supposed to raise my hand?
No, you're not surprised by this. What's happening? What's happening?
Well, many things actually. I guess the biggest news that happened was the price increases.
Boo.
Price increases.
Boo.
Price increases.
Boo.
Pretty much this past Sunday, was it Sunday 22nd?
Okay.
Right?
Right, I think you're right.
Yeah, I think it was Sunday. Yeah, so it was kind of like an insider thing. They didn't really announce it, but the OC register, I guess they have someone that's connected to...
They had someone on the inside.
Yeah, someone... They get their news from on the inside. So they kind of spilled the beans early on Saturday saying Disneyland Resort's going to start raising prices on Sunday. You better buy them now. And Sunday came around and everything shot up. From one-day tickets all the way up to the APs, the annual passes. One-day tickets are now $99. One-day park hoppers are $155. And premium AP $779. Deluxe AP $549. And SoCal Select is now $299. You remember when $299 was the price of the deluxe?
Wow.
Yeah. And now, another thing that they didn't really mention was before you were able to get a parking pass added on, no matter what pass level you got. It was a feature that you could add on. They took that away now. So if you don't have a parking pass already attached to, say, like if you had a deluxe and a parking pass, then or a SoCal Select and a parking pass, and you can't get the parking pass. You can only get it if you already have it, and that's by renewal only. So now I can kind of see what they're doing here to
taking more of your money?
Well, to try to mitigate the crowds a bit. And you know how the parking structure is really bad, like overcrowding, because you've been stuck in there before.
Right. But I mean, is that really supposed to fix the parking problem? Because I mean, the same amount of people are still buying the same amount of tickets.
Well, that's the thing, is like, that's their goal, is to be like, oh, well, people aren't going to, it's ridiculous. No, who's going to pay this much for it? But the last time they had done that, where they raised the prices and basically dropped the SoCal pass and only kept the Select, which is the worst of the two. Instead of people downgrading, people upgraded. So the people who had the SoCal from before, they upgraded Deluxe. The ones who had Deluxe jumped up to Premium. So now even on the days when it's not crowded normally because people didn't want to pay for Premium, now you have all this huge influx of people who have the ability to go, and they totally take advantage of that. So now the parks are super crowded. And
so you're saying that... Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, well, when you look at the difference between Deluxe and Premium, it's like parking $17 to park your car for the day now. So it was $16, not $17.
Of course.
So if you visit at least 14 times in the year, then it makes sense to upgrade from the $559 Deluxe Pass to the $779 Premium Pass. So after 14 trips, you'll paid more than the cost to upgrade plus the Premium Pass gives you like no blackout dates and bigger discounts. So it's almost like, why wouldn't you? Especially if you're an annual pass holder, you would need the parking, and you're not going to pay $17 a pop every time you go. And their thing is to get more people to carpool with each other to lessen the crowds in the structure until they can get a new one built. But they aren't really building a new one or in a rush to build a new one. I think they're building one for the cast members first, and then once they get that situated, then they'll focus on the public. Because right now the cast members are totally being screwed over with parking. I mean, like, they got to park at Anaheim Stadium and then shuttle in from there to go to work. So they got to show up to their shift like 2 hours early. And
yeah, that's dumb.
Yeah.
But I mean, as somebody who doesn't work there, or the people that don't work there, you know, I mean, this doesn't really fix the parking problem. To raise prices and not have the parking passes, isn't that more just, we want you to buy or spend more money? I mean, from their perspective, I don't know if it's so much an altruistic, we want to help you with the parking issues. Because if you're going to go, you're probably going to go come hell or high water. So it's not going to alleviate that problem so much as it's going to add more money to their coffers, which is what they want. So I really can't argue with that fact. And if people are willing to pay it, what about, I mean, there's still people who still see a value in going to the parks, and there's people who no longer see the value. And I mean, they're getting really, really close to that tipping point. They haven't broken the $100 thing yet, but as soon as they break the $100 mark, I'm sure it's going to be just like the churros. You mean the $100 mark on the one day?
On the one day, yeah.
Is that, I mean, really? Because, I mean, I can't imagine a ton of people are buying the one-day park, the non-park hopper one, because, I mean, when you get there, if you're going there on vacation, in theory, those are the people that are probably more likely to buy a one-day versus an annual pass.
Well, yeah.
And then you're going to usually just buy the park hopper because it's technically cheaper than buying. Yeah, obviously it's cheaper than buying a pass for one and a pass for another and spending a whole day at one or the other kind of thing. Of course, had they known that the parks are probably going to be so full, you're only going to have time to do everything in one park in one day and another park the other day. But most people want to have the option of jumping between or going to see one show in one and then going to the other one. So
yeah,
I don't know. I think at this point, no one even. I speaking as someone who lives here, so more likely to have an annual pass or something like that. I wouldn't be inclined to buy the one day non-park hopper. It wouldn't even cross my mind. But I don't know if that's just me or if that's other people that are just like, well, it's $50 more and I get both parks.
But then it's like you kind of have to remember that a lot of the people who do go, who are like true tourists, they don't really know the park as well as, say, like we do. So they're like, oh, well, you can just run over here and run over there, and then you got to kind of really time everything. They take their time in the parks, and generally they'll spend most of the time in one park, and then.
But the tourists will usually buy like multi-day passes, so they're not even the ones buying the one day. Yeah, all
those increase too, like.
So I don't even really know who's buying
adult tickets
the one day, unless it was
a 5-day park hopper for adults is $315.
It's
a 4-day is $300. A 3-day park hopper is $275. A 2-day park hopper is $225. 1-day park hopper $155, and a 1-day $99.
So yeah, I don't know how. I mean, it doesn't seem like with all those other options for buying tickets, the one day seems like the least likely to be bought. Even though it's under $100 by $1.
Still people who are like, oh well,
because that's still a lot of money to spend.
Yeah, I know some grandparents, they'll be like, oh well, I have my grandson coming and I'll spend one day at the parks with the family, so I'm just gonna buy a 1-day ticket and spend the time with them since they're here on vacation from Minnesota.
Right, but you're still going to buy the 1 day. If that's the case, then you're going to buy the 1-day park hopper if they're only here for 1 day, because they're not going to be able to come to the other park the next day, so they're going to have to do both parks in one day.
Well, I think their intent isn't really to go to both parks, but just to kind of spend time with the family at Disneyland. And a lot of them, they still see Disneyland. Well, even the park trends, Disneyland's still more popular than California Adventure.
True, but with the way like information is, kids know about like stuff like Cars Land and stuff like that. Now,
you'd actually be surprised at a lot of people who still don't know about.
Well, a lot of other people, but like kids might be watching like the Disney Channel or stuff like that, more inclined than adults. Like we don't watch a Disney Channel, but like kids are more likely to watch a channel that's basically invested in just having Disney advertisements all the time, kind of thing.
Yes.
So they're more inclined to actually see the stuff than we are, because I never watch the Disney Channel, so I don't get whatever the 24 hours of Disney programming is, like, come to Disney, be one with Disney. I don't even get that, even though I guess I used to watch
Disney World, see the new Fantasyland, get a Magic Band.
Get the Cars Land and get the Disneyland and stuff. But yeah, it just seems like, because I mean, nowadays, like, California Adventure does have a lot to offer versus before. Actually, even especially if you've never been there before, like we are technically we're more jaded before, like they had the Cars Land. Just like there's really nothing to see at Cars or California Adventure. There's a few good stuff, but we were more likely to spend our time at Disneyland.
Yeah, that big change kind of happened when Disney bought Pixar and they made John Lasseter the creative director.
Right.
And the project was Cars Land proper, but then kind of a placemaking in the whole park. So kind of extending the front gate out to create Buena Vista Street. So they have their own version of Main Street there. And it seems to work really well. They built the park for... I forgot how much it was. It was less than $1 billion, but to fix the park, they spent more than $1 billion.
I understand. That makes sense.
And that's doing Cars Land and then kind of plussing up.
It's all worked out for them, I think.
Yeah.
Because I mean, especially if you're, I think there's a good amount of stuff there to do with. I was gonna say if you're a kid, there's a good amount because Bugs Land is a whole land almost dedicated to just fun for kids. But then now, even for adults, there's a good amount of stuff
for Bugs Land.
No, for kids.
Oh, okay.
Like if you're a kid, I meant as a kid, not for adults. I was saying for kids, they have a whole land. Yeah, well, that's not for you. That's what I mean. You're not a kid anymore. But for kids, it's like...
Well, that's the whole... kind of goes against the whole premise of Disneyland is it was supposed to be... Well, in general, for Disneyland, it was supposed to be a thing where families, adults, parents and kids can ride together and enjoy the attraction and experience everything as a family. And Bugs Land kind of said, well, this is for kids.
Right.
And then they had the thrill rides like these are for adults.
Right. It has both.
Yeah.
Not as mixed, definitely not as sought out as that, but then now at least they have stuff for both. Like you have your Tower Terror, your Soaring, your California Screaming. So it does have a good mix. I think now California Adventure makes sense to go to more often. Like it's not like a half day thing. It's in itself if you wanted to, because
now
it's a full day experience.
Yeah, it's pretty
for
much
somebody
who
like if you were just to go straight like clear, not like us where we've been many times, but
and you know which rides to hit and
exactly.
How to
if you were just to go and like look at a map and it's like, wow, look at all these things, you could spend a day there.
Yeah,
and then you could spend a day. So then the 1 day pass technically makes sense. But then I think most people are inclined to do that it's like, well, it's only $50 more to get both parks. I mean, in their minds, like, it's a better deal. I get to go to both parks, even though technically
like,
you could spend the day in one park.
What I recommend to people who usually ask me if they haven't been to Disneyland in a long time and they're kind of just going for a trip, and Disneyland, they offer those, like, buy a day, get a day free. And they're like, should I get that or should I get a park? I think they have one going on right now.
Oh.
But if they have a choice between getting that, like buy one park one day, one park another day, versus a park hopper, I would just tell them, like, just get one park for one day and the other park for the other day.
Well, that's good.
And that's the better deal for you, because then you're still trying to figure things out, and then you won't have to worry about running back and forth and having to wait in line trying to get in on each time you want to cross over.
Well, I'm surprised that they still have that promotion just kind of at all, to be honest. I mean, you don't really see coupons for it or stuff, so I'm surprised they didn't even do that, since they're basically feels like they're running at capacity every day.
Yeah, and I went a couple weeks ago, and it was so crowded, even with like half the park closed on both sides. A bunch, Critter Country is closed, Matterhorn is closed, Small World is closed, Castle is closed. A bunch of that stuff. So basically, like, really half the ride. So that forced a lot of people to hit the lesser populated rides. And those ones are really crowded. So that just made the lines even longer. And then your time just went from being able to hit a bunch of rides and taking your time, like looking in shops or eating, to just waiting in line a lot. Even with FastPass. Because the whole FastPass system changed. So now you actually have to show up within that time window that they give you, like give or take 15 minutes.
I wonder what happens if you show up late. Do they take your pass?
Yeah, I think you get a 15-minute buffer, and then after that, they're like, sorry.
Unless you make enough of a stink.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless you want to be one of those people.
I don't know. I think if you've been waiting in line, or it's hot out, it's easier to become one of those people. Especially if you've got kids with you. You're going to be that person very quickly. You're probably not going to be like, no, it's okay. We did it. Yeah, we'll come back. We should have obeyed. It's like, no. We've been standing in lines all day. Let us in. I will kill you.
Especially when the prices are getting this high.
Yes, exactly.
You're like, I'm paying this much for this. So then you kind of feel entitled almost.
I'd feel like it because you just don't feel like... you're getting your money's worth because you're spending. I mean, it's not their fault. It's just there's just so many people there.
Yeah.
That they can only do so much. So it's not technically it's their fault for being so much fun that everyone wants to come, I guess. But it's just there's just nothing they could do. There's just a finite amount of space, and people have decided to fill it because they can. And I don't know if I remember a while ago we were talking about if there was ever going to be like a finite point where people would not buy the premium pass or something like that. Because you said they raised the prices. When they raised the prices or they changed it, then people moved instead from the deluxe to the premium.
Yeah, because then they're looking at the current thing and it's like, well, it's only a difference of this much between this level and this level. So if I do the math, then it's like I get more stuff when I upgrade plus this and this, and I know I'm going to be going this many times to more than make up for the difference, so I might as well just upgrade. And when you upgrade, then it's like, hey, we got this pass that we can go anytime now. Let's go more often. So then it feels even more crowded.
Yeah, we got a premium pass. I don't think we're going to upgrade it or renew it again. Because even with the premium days, it's still packed. It's so...
Because you can't use that thing anymore because of what they did with the annual passports by getting rid of the SoCal pass and then changing the price structure.
But I do wonder, because I do wonder if it'll get to a price, because obviously if you're rich enough, the price doesn't matter. So
you'll be at Club 33, like laughing at all the people down there. Like
you won't care. There's a certain amount that won't care how high the premium gets. It's just money, just a small amount of money to them. But then there's those ones kind of like us, where it's just like it's still a lot of money.
Yeah.
But the value, if you went enough, it was okay. Will fall off like as it gets higher. Even now, we're falling off, and I wonder how much is going to drop off, or how high it has to get before there's a big drop off.
Yeah, and then just to give you
a
little statistic here, back in 2005, it was $53 for a 1-day 1-park ticket. So if you adjust for inflation, and this is according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, if you increase for inflation in 2014, that $53 ticket would be $64.24. And now here's where that kind of comes into play a little bit, is with the annual passports, you can do monthly payments. And this is kind of where people see the quote-unquote value in the pass, is a monthly payment for a premium is $56.67. Now, if you get a premium and you don't have to pay for parking, you're still essentially paying for a 1-day 1-park at the 2005 price rate. Cheaper than that, actually. You don't have to pay for parking. You get a bigger discount and all this extra stuff, perks and everything, for $56.67 a month.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of why we bought it, because
you're saying about $8.
Yeah,
still, but it's a park hopper now, not just a 1-park ticket. Where that pricing was for a 1-park. So that's kind of why there's that little disjoint between what the people at Disney are trying to do and what the public actually sees. And like, they're making us think about raising prices again, but they keep buying. And it's kind of like that lemonade stand game in the old days. It's like, how much do you want to charge for lemonade? And you get this many people per day buying lemonade, and like, I'm going to raise the prices. And all of a sudden you make less money, and then you lower the prices, and you make more money. And then after that, however much you're making your cost is too much. So your profit margin is narrow. And I don't know, it's a game I played on the Apple IIe.
So do you think, well, let's be honest, Disney ever going to either stop raising their prices or...
No, because...
Nope, no reason, right? Same as the churros, never going down.
I heard something about the prices here being more because it's like a delayed kind of, we're going to get our money back in investing in remodeling all of California Adventure and giving you Cars Land. So even though we said you're not really going to pay for it, eventually we are, and we are right now.
Right.
So that's kind of where that's going. But then this is rumored to be the first price increase this year. There's going to be another price increase probably towards the fall, I want to say.
Of course. Why not?
If history holds true. Because they've done the increases before where it's like, oh, there's one in spring, one in the fall.
I mean...
They said it's a pretty good chance that's going to happen this year. Again.
So get your tickets now.
Yeah, I don't know if any of the other places, like if you go to Albertsons or Ralph's or whatever that sell those gift cards or AAA, they still have some of the old stock at the old prices, but probably really hard to find right now. So that was one of the tricks. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money.
And it's only going to become more and more and more. This is kind of a bummer,
yeah,
but...
So the premium increased $80. And it's probably going to go up again. So this year it'll increase maybe over $100.
I'm waiting for it to reach 1,000.
Well, the Premier Pass is already past 1,000. Well past 1,000.
Now the Premier one, that's the one
Disneyland and Walt Disney World.
Okay, that makes sense.
The old price was $1,029. And actually when the Premier first came out, it was only $779. I think, or $699. I think it was $779. So now it's like well beyond that. The new price right now is $1,099. $10.99. Yeah, the value's slowly dwindling.
It's just... Yeah, it's getting more expensive and just less fun because there's so many people. Once again, not technically their fault. Although it would be nicer if the parks, I guess, were bigger or if they had more of them. But there's just nothing they can do, I guess, right?
Well, the thing is, I'm wondering how much of an effect Universal Studios is going to have on their bottom line once next summer rolls around, 2016, and they open up the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. Because I know a lot of people are going to get annual passes for that, and what Universal Hollywood's supposed to get is supposed to be an upgraded version, like lessons learned from Japan and from Florida, and kind of integrate all those into a better version of Hogwarts.
I'd like to see it. I mean, before I pass judgment on it, because I mean, Universal Studios Hollywood has the same problem as Disneyland in California. Finite amount of space.
Yeah.
It'll be upgraded, but there's only so much they could do with the space that they're given, and they can't expand it beyond there. I mean, they did take out a lot of stuff to make room for it, but whether it's repeatable, like whether it's worth having the annual pass to Universal, I mean, I'll just have to wait and see. Because like right now, I don't think it's really worth it unless you really like
right now
there's
not much of anything. But
there's a good amount. It's fine. Like if you don't mind doing the same thing. If anything, the problem is you can do everything in one day over there if you get there early enough. If you get there when it opens around, or even roundabouts when it opens, you can do everything there. Not the same at Disneyland. You can go on what you want when it opens, but that might be about it.
The cool thing is that they're actually applying like kind of creating cohesive lands. So now there's like around the Simpsons ride is going to be the Simpsons area opening up this summer.
Yeah,
so you can get
that's
like a Flamin' Moe's and a Krusty Burger and all that stuff.
I mean, technically, it took them long enough. Disney's been doing it for a while now.
But now they're learning.
Like I said, it took them a while. It's not like Disney just started doing this. They've been doing it for close to 60 years now.
Yeah.
And it's something I've always liked, so I guess Universal thought, we're better than that. We don't need to do that. Oh, we should start doing that. Money to be made.
Yeah, but then...
Magic doesn't do that, though.
Another part of the whole price increase is they're kind of gearing up for their new Star Wars land.
Which is going to be... But they're taking over... They're not building a new... Oh... But you said they're going to be taking over some of the back area, right? So they're not getting
the
new
rumor right
space,
now
but they're
is
expanding.
getting rid of
Possibly.
Tomorrowland and the Big Thunder Ranch area,
right?
And kind of turning that whole back section into a Star Wars area.
Oh, that section and Tomorrowland?
Yeah. So Tomorrowland's going to be enclosed into a show building.
Okay.
And then you're going to be like in space or like the cantina.
Because I was wondering how those would connect, because they are kind of on different ends of the park. They're not like directly connected. Because you got the Fantasyland area that's kind of slices in between it.
You would go behind the Fantasyland theater into Tomorrowland.
Behind the Fantasyland theater?
Yeah, so between the Rivers of America and the Fantasyland theater, there's a path there. That's like backstage area, facilities and all that stuff. So they can work on all that behind the scenes.
I guess I'd have to look at the map. I'm imagining the area near the Big Thunder Ranch area, that part of the map, and then the Tomorrowland, and then between those two is like you got the Matterhorn and that part of Fantasyland and that area, the Autopia on that side. As opposed to like a straight line, there seems to be like a gap of things in between it. But I think I'm imagining it incorrectly, apparently. That it wouldn't be a cohesive line, I guess, in my head. But must be thinking about. I mean, if you use the backstage, it makes more sense. And I'm only thinking of the front stage area, possibly.
Right.
Yeah, I'm just not thinking of the. You're not thinking three-dimensionally.
No, you're not.
But I mean,
but here's a map.
Take our word for it. There's a map here.
Well, Google Maps. If you look from the top, you can tell where the Big Thunder Mountain Railroad attraction is.
Right.
And then the covered canopy area is Big Thunder Ranch.
Right. Okay.
Quote unquote festival area.
Mm-hmm.
And then they would kind of extend upwards into this backstage area where they have the current Circle D Ranch where they keep all the horses and stuff.
Right behind the...
And that would connect horizontally across, like eastward into Toontown. So right behind the Fantasyland Theater. So it's almost like a L shape.
You kept saying Tomorrowland.
Oh, did I say Tomorrowland?
Yeah.
I went Toontown.
Okay, that makes more sense. Okay, I'm like, how do we get from up there down to Tomorrowland?
No, I was thinking Tomorrowland. They actually put those sightline balloons up in Tomorrowland as well.
Okay.
Around Inventions and the Submarine Lagoon.
Okay.
Or Autopia.
So that's not going to be the Star Wars area proposed. Possibly is the Big Thunder Ranch area and the Toontown area and the backstage area.
Yeah, so
around it. Oh, okay. Now it's making more sense. Now when I'm looking at it, and you can look at you could follow along on Google Maps if you like. But it makes sense now that I'm in the right lands. They do connect. They are right next to each other. So, yeah, it's a good piece of land. I mean, I guess they got to get creative now.
Yeah, I was thinking it's like, since they were putting up sightline balloons for Tomorrowland, how are they going to connect that if that were a possibility?
To have more Star Wars stuff in Tomorrowland?
Yeah, because then that's, like, you see the Small World building basically blocks the easiest path to connect Tomorrowland with Toontown and Big Thunder Ranch.
And it's a long path, too, so it's a lot
So they'd have to kind of work
room to
upwards,
cover. Yeah.
and then kind of come back down and around, like into the parade building and all that stuff. So it doesn't look like it's going to happen unless they tunnel underneath.
Yeah,
Small
I
World,
doubt
or
they're
go
going to do
over
that.
Small World.
I think they'd. I mean,
so they might have something different planned there.
I think they'd have something different. But I mean, it's still a good chunk of space for the Star Wars stuff. I mean, that's nothing to sneeze at. If they'd use all that area you were talking about and they clear it out and redo it for Star Wars, that's a pretty good
What they
land.
could do is, like, it could be like Tatooine or Endor on the Frontierland, Fantasyland side. And then on the Tomorrowland side, it could be like Coruscant.
Well, you could have another area over there. I mean, it could work, but it's just usually they tend to like to bunch all their stuff into one area, so it has a cohesive
But this is all
thing.
just kind of speculation right now, because they're not going to announce anything. Like, they've been working on it for a long, long time, and they have a whole bunch of blue sky ideas, but it's not going to be announced till
It's not gonna. It's not
the
gonna
movie
be,
comes out.
but it's gonna be announcements. So they're not gonna be done till like the second movie's probably out.
Well,
they're probably gonna announce maybe around this movie this year, but
yeah.
They're probably not gonna be doing anything until.
No, they'll start because I think J.J. Abrams, he's trying to push for a summer release date for Star Wars, just because of
summer
the fear of
2016
this year.
2015?
So to release it earlier, because it's supposed to come out in May, then it got pushed to December.
Yeah, I remember.
Now they want to push it back to June, I think.
Interesting.
June or July.
Not that I'm complaining, but why?
Because of all the leaks from behind it, and he's like, I just want to get ahead of the leaks. That was his thing. He's like, I don't want the movie ruined by internet speculation and all that stuff. So
really.
And the other thing is because they're planning all the stuff for the Star Wars land.
Right.
The Imagineers have to know, like, kind of get the whole context of the universe plus what's happening in the new movie. So they're incorporating everything into there. So it's like classic and the new. So it's familiar as well.
Well, I mean, there's still a lot of time. Even if they want, the thing is, if they want to move it up to summer again, there's still a good amount of time between then and now for leaks. So I'd assume anything that didn't leak between then and now would probably not leak from then to December. I mean, like I said, not complaining, that sooner better than later. It's just weird that you're worried about leaks. I mean, it's not like you're going to be releasing it next week or anything. So there's plenty of time if things were going to leak for them to leak.
Right.
I guess if that's just the only reason, okay. I'd like to think there was another reason.
He takes pride in his movies.
Well, no,
So.
all his movies are good, and I doubt. I think even if it, I mean, it'd be nice if you didn't know, but even if it did leak, I don't think it so much hurt the movie. I mean, like, it's, you know, sucks for anyone who watched it, but there's still probably anyone who learned the leaks probably still gonna watch it. It's not going to diminish the amount of people that probably go. They'll just know more when they get there. Maybe be less amazed by it, I guess.
Yeah.
But then again, even leaks, you're just like, it's still not the movie. So unless you still want to see the movie. So if like the script leaks, you're like, oh, I know what the script is, so I know what's going to happen. I'm still going to watch it.
Like, what's it? Rocky or Rambo? I think it's Rambo, right? Sylvester Stallone did the script on, and he posted it on Twitter, and then it was like the last page is like, oh, everyone zoomed in. Like, so this is how the movie ends.
Last Rocky movie, or the latest one anyway, is working on. Yeah, spoilers. But I can't speak on that one, but I know for Star Wars anyway, the whole thing could leak, and everyone could be like, oh, that sucks. And then I'm going to watch it. Or it's not going to be like, oh, I read it already, I don't need to watch the movie. You're going to watch the movie. If you were willing to read the leak thing, then you're probably the kind of person that's going to watch it anyway. Either way. Maybe you won't watch it 3 times.
Spoil it for the rest of us.
Yeah. If it came to that, I don't know. I doubt that there'd be that big a leak. Who knows? It could be, but like, where they leaked everything. But I mean, even then, I guess technically it wouldn't really. I think the numbers are still going to be huge for the movie anyway. It's going to open big, even if everyone knew exactly every plot point. They're like, I still got to see it. It's going to be amazing. I know everything's going to happen, and I still want to see it, kind of thing. Well, but the same thing with reading a book and then seeing the movie later. It's like, I know everything's going to happen in some form or fashion, the major points, but I still want to see it in movie form, because even though I know everything's going to happen beforehand, because I've read it already for the most part, I still want to see it in real life.
So I can pick it apart.
So I can pick it apart for why it isn't as good as the book, kind of thing.
It looks too real.
It's not how I imagined it. I imagined it differently.
There are already people complaining about that. The trailer, it's like, it's too real. I don't like it.
It's too real?
Yeah.
I'm not even sure I understand that.
It's too much like Star Trek.
It's too real. Like, I've actually heard someone that said it looks too good. Like the old, the old 70s footage, which looked like it did because of the technology at the time.
Yeah.
As it's like, I don't know if they were honestly making that like comparisons, like, yeah, look, I like the way it looked then, kind of thing, and that's because that was the best at the time. Not now, it's not the best here. We don't have to make it look crappier to make it good. But I'd heard that. I was like, yeah, you can't be serious. You want it. It looks too nice. It's too well mastered, kind of thing.
It's like when HD TVs first came out, and they had that anti-jutter mode where it made things look from movie cinema quality to like super high frame rate, where it looked like a home video.
Ha, right. I know Carrie doesn't really care for that one.
Yeah,
because your TV has that, and I think our TV kind of has that, where it's like,
I think we got used to it. We don't notice it anymore. Like, huh.
Probably. I think it's something we get used to. Actually,
and then now you look at the other stuff, and it's like, why is it so blurry?
Have you ever noticed how, like, when talking about TVs, like, we have much bigger TVs than we had in the past. Like, normally, like, everyone has a big screen TV.
Yeah.
Like a 40 inches, kind of a smaller size.
Back in the day, 32 inches was a large TV.
Exactly.
And now you're like,
unless you were like super rich,
you gotta have like 50 inches at least, man.
But then when you have a big TV, like if you go from a smaller TV to a big TV, you're like, wow, this is amazing. But then after you've had it for a while, you're like, eh.
They have 80 inches now.
Yeah, you're like, and it's amazing. Like we back in the day, 50 inches, that's it, done. That's a bit. We're rolling now.
That's that giant projector, like rear projection, heavy TV.
Yeah, that was it. You were rolling. You were rich. You had to be to own that. Now you don't really have to be, and they have 80-inch TVs now. And when you have the big screen, you kind of get used to it. But I guess that's true for all technology. Like, our smartphones are amazing. Like, if you had shown this to me when I was like 10 years ago?
Why would I want to carry that giant thing in my pocket?
10 years ago? I'm trying to think. There was a time growing up when I had a pager. I didn't have a cell phone. So during my course of growing up, we went from having well, from regular people having pagers and beepers, not like doctors or anything, but just everyone had a pager or a beeper and stuff, to now everyone's got a smartphone. And that's like all happened within my lifetime. That leap in technology, basically. And now I don't even really notice it. Just take it for granted that leap has happened. So if you
lost your phone, you'd be like, "Oh my god!"
Exactly. Hit me up on my pager, kind of thing. Like, you're what? But it was.
What was on your phone? Everything.
There was a time when we had that. I don't know if you had one. Did you have one? Like a pager, or a beeper, or something like
that? For like a year.
Because you were a doctor. In case there's an emergency at the hospital, you need to get in contact.
No, it was when I went off to college. My parents would be like, "You can't have a cell phone yet, but we'll give you a pager. So when you page you have to call us back right away." And I'm like,
I remember I had a pager, and I really didn't need it either. Like, I didn't have people paging me all the time, but it was cool to have.
Yeah, it was
at the time.
For me, it was an electronic leash.
Well, for your version, yes, it was that is exactly what it was.
I'd be talking to like the RA, and then I get a page, and we're still talking about relevant stuff and like what expectations, things going on the floor. If I need to see the floor doctor or whatever. The guy who just has a box, like a first aid box, like, you need Band-Aids, you need aspirin, you need whatever. Here, let me know. So I got a page from my parents. I was like, okay, I'll call him back in a few minutes, like when I'm done. A minute later, another page. A minute later, another page. I think 10 pages later, about 10 minutes later, 10 more pages, I finally call him back and like, what took you so long? Why didn't you call back? I was paging you so many times, like, I was busy. Like, I can't just drop everything. It's college.
The leash goes off.
Yeah, and they're like, unacceptable.
Well, for others, it was more of a leisurely thing. Like, you had that. Not for you.
You
so
just get
much.
text pager code 143. Oh. 8008.
But we had that, like I said, in our lifetimes, and we've gone from that to having smartphones that basically are computers in our pockets wherever we need information, or we really don't need the information. We have access to them.
Or those questions where you're like, well, even then you get to the point where it's like, yeah, I can't remember what this was. Huh. Is there only some way to look it up and figure it out? My pocket's too far.
I guess we'll never know. That's how far we've come, to being lazy about the amazing technology we have in our pockets. We've surpassed it so much that we just can't be bothered to pull it out of said pocket.
Yes.
It's amazing. And I take it for granted. And we all, pretty much everyone probably takes it for granted.
Well, now it's heading towards the point where it's like wearables now. So, like, you remember the Pebble smartwatch when that first came out, right?
Kinda. I don't really wear watches, so
okay.
It probably came, I'm like, huh,
well,
and then moved on.
It was like the e-ink watch, so it had you'd only need to charge it like once a week. And the display was always on, so it didn't suck battery like by having a backlight or anything. And it would sync up to different apps on your phone, so it would forward, like, it would show you who's calling, it'd show you like a calendar, show you new text messages, and you'd be able to kind of check up.
Not have to pull it out of your pocket.
Yeah,
it's
you just look at your wrist.
Step, just slightly, like you still had to pull up your wrist to be able to see it.
And then you click a button, like, oh, click, done. Okay, cool.
As opposed to just reaching into your pocket or first and grabbing the item, you just you saved yourself.
It's too much work.
Apparently, you saved yourself a little bit of lifting because it's so heavy, your cell phone.
Right.
Huh.
So they went back on, they had a record Kickstarter. They went back on Kickstarter again to introduce the Pebble, the next generation Pebble color smartwatch. So now you actually get like color animation and color screens on there. So it's only 64 colors, so it's pretty basic. But for what it does, I mean, it's pretty good. Like, you can actually distinguish things more clearly now, and it still has a long battery life like e-ink provides, and more compatible with all the apps. So does it work with an extended
but it still requires your phone.
Yes.
So you still have to carry your phone.
And it went up on Kickstarter. I think it got fully funded in like less than 4 hours.
So you can't use it without your phone.
Yeah, well, it's to keep you from pulling your phone out of your pocket.
The 1 second it would take you to take your phone out of your pocket.
Well, that's just like the Motorola 360 or the LG G Watch, or
which I'm trying to say are about equally as dumb.
The Samsung Galaxy Gear Watch.
What? Well, see, the problem is, I guess I'm out of the loop because I can't really wear watches because I tend to sweat a lot, so it gets really bad if I wear a watch for any amount of time. So I don't wear a watch. So maybe if I wore a watch, I'd really appreciate it. However, it's not like you can use it and not have your phone. It's not a replacement for your phone. You have to have your phone and this.
It's an enhancement.
It's not, because you still have to, it's an enhancement that's
enhancing your life.
I don't know how much of an enhancement it is.
With the wearables.
Wearables. It's like a smaller, less useful version of my phone.
And the funny thing is, like, the apps that support it, that they were advertising on the Kickstarter page, it's like, oh, getting stuff done. Evernote, of course. Weather Channel, of course. PayPal, yeah. And then Domino's.
Well, even the Evernote one, it's like, how big is the screen? Like, if you have a big note, are you like scrolling up and down? Like,
well,
like for it looks like looking at it, it's like there's room for a tiny note. Like, go to the dentist. But if you had something more than,
well, then you just pull out your phone.
Right. Exactly. You would just pull out your phone. This is for this quick little stuff.
The stuff
How
that
much?
you have to
Okay,
look
so
at
how
that
much
you
is
can't
it
really be
then?
bothered for.
How are we talking about? What, $50? $25?
Well, if you were an early bird, you would have got it for $159.
Are you what? Really?
Retail's going to be
Really?
$199.
What? How much
But
is my phone?
You can
Subsidize then. But and you still have to buy the phone. It doesn't work without the phone, right? You can't. It doesn't. It will not run on its own. It still
needs the phone.
It needs a phone, so it's an accessory.
Compatible with Apple and Android and Microsoft.
I hope so.
But if you get on the Kickstarter right now, you have like 29 more days. $179, so you save $20.
So when are you getting yours?
I don't want a Pebble.
Because it's dumb. And I love technology. I love stupid, like, I like the Google Glass idea, even though it's still, like, you look kind of stupid in it, but that's the kind of wearable where I'm like, oh, that's like an interesting concept kind of thing where...
Well, for me, it's more like I want, like, the Motorola 360, just because you can put on those watch skins on there and, like, have the GoldenEye watch or have...
You can just buy a watch that looks like the GoldenEye watch.
Yeah, but you can just change the skin, like flip through it really fast, like GoldenEye, Tron, Classic, whatever watch.
So the basic concept, while kind of...
And still have access to your Android notifications on your wrist without having to pull your phone out for that 1 second.
For the 1 second. So the thing that sold you on this apparently $200 object
stuff
is not even the dominoes or it's the skins, which I admit is possibly an interesting piece of it. Actually, that's a part unfortunately I find interesting too. It's like, oh, the skins, you can make it look like that, really show out your inner geekiness. But man, it totally flew under my radar. And now that you have explained it to me, wow, I don't know anyone who owns one, but it just seems, because I am extremely lazy.
Yeah, you can even get Mickey Mouse on your watch.
No.
Like Classic, get the GoldenEye thing, do Metal Gear Solid.
Because, I mean, I can't... It seems like...
A Rubik's Cube.
Like, I couldn't even do everything I wanted to do on it anyway. Anything major, I'd still need to pull out my phone. Like, if I needed to search something, I'd still need to pull out my phone to do it.
But the thing is with these backlit watches that have these really nice screens and all, you have to charge it every day. So you're charging your phone and your watch every day. Oh, good. But the Pebble watch, the cool thing about that is the battery life. And then you still get a decent enough screen, now with color.
No, with color, of course not. That's crazy.
Supported features. So it's like, oh, well, that's cool. And then eventually they're going to release like a metal band version.
At this point, like maybe a Pip-Boy would be more useful. At least it has
I think
more
there's a skin
screen
for
space.
that too.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, it's so small because it's supposed to be small, like a watch, but then it's so small that it almost feels like it defeats the purpose of everything else that it could be used for, like as a quick accessory. Like you can't get information on it unless you're going to be scrolling through it, kind of thing. Yeah, there's some cool stuff. There's cool skins on it, but man,
to show it off and be like, look what I got
for $200.
Well, actually, the Moto 360 costs even more.
Wow, sorry, the Pebble was on the lower end. I thought it was on the higher end of prices.
No.
How big is it?
Where's my watch? I have the Casio Pathfinder triple sensor or whatever, and that's a pretty big watch. So the face is about probably the size of the outer diameter of the watch on your wrist. And it's probably just as thick.
I guess if you really like wearing watch,
chunky watch.
I guess if you already wear a watch on a normal basis, maybe in that case, then you're getting some extra information out of your watch because you're going to wear it anyway. So in that case, I guess, okay, go ahead, knock yourself out, because then currently your watch assumably just tells time. So if you're going to wear something on your wrist anyway, why not make it the Moto 360 or the Pebble or something? Well,
the Moto 360 is, if you get the metal one, it's $300. If you get the non-metal one, that's $250. So $50 more for the metal band. But
of course it is.
$150 for the $180 right now for the Pebble, or $200 when it comes out. So you're saving money
by spending a lot,
and you have to charge it less.
because you have to charge it at all.
Should be a solar-powered watch. That's what mine is. Not to worry about atomic and solar-powered.
I guess you'd have to have somebody.
I have to set it. I have to charge it.
I'm definitely in the This is, as much as I really like technology and stuff like this, it should be right up my alley. I don't know. It just seems dumb to me, like unnecessary. But like I said, when I thought about it, if you wear a watch already, I guess you could get this, and if you wanted something that could do all that stuff, and you just tended to look at it,
yeah,
maybe.
And,
but then at the price point, it's just like, wow.
Well, the thing is,
they
already have like about 47,000 backers. They're over $10 million.
No, there's definitely a demand for it, so I can't really argue that.
Yeah, there's only 10 million pledged, and they only needed 500,000. They only needed 500,000, and they have 10 million. Over 10 million pledged already, with 29 days to go.
More power to them, but I definitely not my cup of tea. Maybe we should have had somebody that is really pro Pebble. Maybe Corey? I don't know. Didn't strike me as that.
I think he has a...
Does he have one?
G-Shock.
Well, he has a... If you have a watch...
He does have a G-Shock, but it is... Bluetooth linked to his phone, so he can see tracks and I think some notifications, so he can control his phone music from his watch.
Okay.
So he can pocket his watch, have his headphones in his ear, and instead of having to pull it out, it's like if you run the wires through your shirt, it's not awkward when you pull it out of your pocket. You can just look at your wrist and just hit the button and go next track, next track, next track.
Okay.
Volume up, pause.
I can see that being useful.
You get a phone call and like, hold on, let me pull out my phone. It's like, oh wait, I have a microphone on my headphones. Hit the button, answer call.
Yeah, in that case, could be useful. I don't know how much I'd pay for it, but I mean, it is useful. I do find that taking the time to take out my phone to change tracks a bit cumbersome. So it'd be nice to be able to not have to do that.
The smartwatch.
Okay.
Sold. How many are you going to get?
Yeah. Not going to happen for me.
One for each wrist.
In case one wrist goes out, I need the other one spare.
You smash the screen into some corner, like a brick wall or the handle of a shopping cart.
So yeah, I mean, maybe if I ever got one for whatever reason, I'd be super impressed by it. And maybe I don't know any better, but
you would totally show it off.
Oh yeah, if I had it, but I
would show it off.
I couldn't imagine myself buying one, but if I had one, someone gave it to me, maybe then. But then in that case, it was free. So yeah, if you give them away for free, yeah, that's good. I'm all on board for that. But $200, I think I'll pass for now. I mean, yeah. Like I said, like wearable technologies like the Google Glass and stuff like that, or the augmented ones like the Microsoft one that came out recently, that kind of stuff. I'm interested in that kind of stuff. Although the Google Glass isn't quite as much as I'd like it to be. Like I like either contacts or glasses that, really show an augmented reality, like you could look at stuff and gives data readouts, whereas from what I can gather, the Google Glass just kind of has a display on it, but it's set in one spot, so you're kind of looking in that spot to use them. I still like to try them out, or at least see what it looks like through the perspective, because I've never even seen what it looks like from that perspective if you're looking through it. I wonder if there's a video like that. I don't know if they could pull it off.
I think like a computer mock-up.
Oh, okay. At the very least, it might be dumb, and usually anyone I see walking by me that is wearing them, I can't help but stare at them.
And point and laugh?
No, I do wonder what they see. So if I saw it, then I'd probably, once I got that curiosity out of the way, I'd be like, okay, that's what it's like. And then I could be like, okay, I don't really need it, even though...
It's like, no, let me put on my HoloLens.
Yes.
And walk around and be cool.
But, yeah. Those probably aren't going to go together. Let me walk around and be cool? No, that's not going to happen. But let me walk around and feel cool, but not be cool.
I would imagine you would almost want to wear like a Daft Punk helmet.
If you're going to go that way, go all the way.
Yeah. And we're like, What's going on? Yeah, I can see everything. It's fine. Augmented
Just
reality.
reaching out in front of you. It could be.
You can't see what I'm doing back here. Behind these lenses.
That kind of wearable technology, though, it kind of interests me and stuff. The Oculus Rift, which is not like seeing, but
they do nothing.
I'm not really a watchman, so I guess that's why it doesn't really speak to me. But I guess if you do wear watches, then it's pretty good. You're not getting one, but you're interested in it, I'm guessing. Yes.
I mean, I know there's problems with a bunch of the first gen watches, like mostly battery life.
Okay, when you get yours, then we'll review it then, because obviously you're gonna get it before I get it.
So I'll wait for like maybe second, third generation.
Isn't this like the second generation of the Pebble one?
Pebble,
or is it a different version? So it's not technically the second generation.
Technically the second. I want to say there was a version before that, but that might be like a half version. So not really a full version ahead.
Now's
like
your time, though. You gotta jump on
2.
now. While it's cheaper. Not a lot cheaper, but a little cheaper. Then you can be the tech guy that shows off his new gear.
Taco Tech Corner.
Yeah. I don't know if you like. I don't know.
It's gear-tastic.
I feel a little bit more like that stuff you're saying about Corey's being able to control your Bluetooth. That sounds interesting.
Well, you can do that with any of the smartwatches, too.
Well, yeah. No, not with the Pebble. I just meant in general of having a smartwatch, because for the most part, it just seems dumb. But if you're... I take it back. If you wear a watch already, then swapping it out for this could prove more useful. If you're going to wear the watch anyway, why not wear one that's smart?
I like my watch that I have right now. It'd be cool
but
if I could add more features.
That one's dumb. It's dumb.
But it tells me the weather.
Dumb. This one, that one will tell you the weather and get you a pizza. It'll deliver pizza.
But I don't need a phone for it to tell me the weather. It can just tell me the weather from the internals already built in. Compass, barometer, altimeter.
It's dumb.
Moon chart, tidal chart.
Could be smart, but it's dumb. It doesn't even have a diploma. Didn't even graduate.
Zones, atomic timekeeping. Solar powered.
Dropped out. It's a dropout. That's what it is. It's dumb.
It's not good enough anymore.
It's not good enough. Does it have a diploma or anything?
At least it has a titanium band. Titanium. Not aluminium.
But would you trade out that one for the smartwatch then? Since you wear watches? As a watch wearer, I don't have a horse in this game, but you wear a watch, so you're willing to actually put something on your wrist and wear it all day.
If the watch is good enough.
Well, that one's the future. It's made of the future, which is now, I guess.
I think the biggest hurdle for me is just the battery life.
The battery life.
Because if I forget to charge it one night, I don't have a watch.
That's a good point. But you always do carry a battery pack with you, if not 2.
But then I have to have a battery pack in my pocket with a wire running to my wrist. It's like, oh no, it's charging. It's fine.
Yeah, that's kind of dumb.
Awkward.
But is that the only thing that would be holding you back? Is just that?
Mostly. Because it does a bunch of the other stuff too, like fitness tracking, all the alerts, music control with album art and covers, and yeah, basically like the remote control for your phone.
So that seems a little bit more interesting. Like the Evernote, I don't know if that'd be that useful, but as a control,
reference short notes.
Very short notes, yeah.
You're not like pulling up a recipe on your wrist, hopefully.
Yeah, so that was a little weird.
But then again, there's people out there who are taking pictures using an iPad, a full-size iPad.
Right.
So, if there were a watch that could take pictures without having them to whip out their iPad.
Wait, does that do that?
No.
If it could also shoot full video and,
Well, the Samsung Galaxy Gear watches, I think the Gear 2 smartwatch, does have the first one and the second one. They do have cameras built into it, but not super high resolution. But you can take a picture, see the viewfinder image on the watch screen itself, and I think you can transmit that to the phone.
I just imagine what it looked like to take a picture with your
watch.
Yeah, it looked less cool than when we originally just said it, and I thought about it.
James Bond cutting through the wall with his laser watch.
Except you're pointing it at someone or something, and not invisible. A laser, and there is no laser.
The laser's invisible.
As if it were all in James Bond's head. It's like, what are you doing? I'm cutting through this wall. Of course you are. It look almost as awkward because, like, in theory, like, it's usually those people that are holding up their iPads at like a concert or something, trying to record something. But then in this case, you'd be holding up your arm.
No, because you'd have to look at the screen, and the watch is facing, or the lens is facing forward on the band, so it's not facing you. It's actually facing it's on the top edge of the watch, facing out. So it's almost like you're surreptitiously recording things.
But you still have to. It'd still be. Your arm would still have to be in an upward, like, even unless there was nothing.
Pretend you're like talking to Kit, like a Knight Rider watch.
Like, I guess you could hold it down, or it's still, you still have to have the arm somewhere to be able to record it. So you'd look
you'd just be
unnatural. Yeah. I mean, maybe a little, obviously more incognito than holding an iPad, but still a little weird when you're just like...
It'd look cooler than holding an iPad.
Oh, yeah, no, it looked better than that. But still weird. But yeah, I guess I'm a little bit more sold on it than I was before. Just purely as a remote, though. I do like those features. That'd be nice. And maybe some of the apps, but a lot of them seems a little too small to really be of use on most apps, I think, functionality wise. But I could kind of see where it could come in handy for the other stuff, I guess. So yeah, I'm sort of in it now. I still wouldn't pay $200 or more for it. But, I mean, I could see the usefulness of the stuff.
Yeah.
More so.
Well, technology is always changing, like, really fast now. Like, even a year seems to be too long for new technology. So, it's like they have stuff that happens at the beginning of the year and then stuff that happens at the end of the year. Or towards the end of the year.
How long have the smartwatches been around, anyway?
I think last fall.
So they're still new technology.
Fairly new, but now it's getting to the point where it's like, okay, we need something better now.
Well, because I remember we were talking about how, like, at CES, there wasn't anything that really blew us away, or at least myself. Or maybe there was one thing that was actually interesting, but it seemed like CES shows, as of late, have been less... like full of amazing future tech kind of stuff. Like this stuff's from the future, and more
4K curved
upgrades
TVs,
to
OLEDs.
Yeah, things we already have, not inventions so much as this is a better version of this thing. I'm like, okay, that's good. I'm not super impressed by it, but whereas in past years you'd see at least one thing, if not more, like, wow, that's completely different. That's something cool I never thought of, and I want one now to be done in 3 years. Well, it's okay, but at least it's something. But I can't remember if there was an item this past CES, which is in January, that was something that did that.
There's some of the smaller ones. We touched upon it last time, but like those earbuds, the wireless ones that are Bluetooth. So each one is separate, but they sync up together at the same time. So you don't have any wires to mess around you, but then at the same time it's also easier to lose because there's no wires to keep them together.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, ultimately they're headphones, wireless headphones, and they're cool. I'd want them. So, but I mean,
so you can put your phone down. But
then I need a watch to control it.
Yes. See, that's why you need the watch.
I don't need a watch.
Yeah, the watch and the headphones.
I'd like the headphones. I can't wear the watch. No. Especially if I was exercising. Oh, that's awful.
A fitness smart band. It's not a watch.
I can't.
It has a display on there.
I already sweat enough when I'm sitting still, and I've had spaghetti.
A smart sweatband.
I need something, that somehow minimize that, because it's the main reason. Like, I can't. Like, I see people when I was going to the gym wearing like beats on their head, like while they're exercising,
and they weren't breaking a sweat because they weren't really exercising.
I don't even know. Maybe they were, but even just I start sweating when I would just walk into the gym. Because
if you're wearing beats on your head, you're not really going there to exercise. You're going there to show off.
Yeah, okay.
Like, I'm already fit and in shape, and look at me, I got beats. I'm hip and with it, and I got money.
I never thought of it that way, but it makes a good point. I just thought, like, or even anything, like, because you're wearing over the ear headphones, like with the cushioning and stuff. I see people now even with just like with those ones on, as opposed to just like earbuds and stuff. Going, what? Like, do you not sweat at all from in the head area? You just dry as a bone.
Earbuds, like, you sweat in your ear too. So
yeah,
earbuds
but
get all slippery and stuff.
But I don't have like the over the ear cushions that are like absorbing my sweat and like breaking down. Like when I
Hey, you got to hear this track. No.
No, I would no.
I
can't even,
and
it just blows my mind. But I guess people don't sweat in their heads. I mean, I've always had the problem of sweating just everywhere.
That's why I think they aren't really exercising. That's the only explanation.
I guess. Well, because I assume everyone sweats
glands.
less than me, so or have no sweat glands. Yes, they just completely overheat when it gets hot. They have no solution except panting, maybe. But that's one thing that blew my mind when I was at the gym. Like, really, you're gonna wear those? Like, but yeah, that's remind me about the wireless headphone kind of thing. I'd want those, actually. Those are the ones I'd want, only because I hate wires.
And then they had another version where it was like the wireless earbuds, but for when you go to sleep. So when it wakes you up, only you hear the alarm. And I don't remember if they vibrate or not, but I think they at least just direct the audio into your ear. So it's like,
I wonder how comfortable they'd be,
beep,
though.
beep.
For sleeping overnight, like.
Well, I know it wouldn't work for me because I've done the regular foam earplugs in my ear before, and I guess I toss and turn too much. So when I wake up in the morning, they're both out of my ear.
Huh.
And in the morning, I'm trying to find out where they went.
Wow, you are an aggressive sleeper then.
Yes. So that will not work for me.
I don't know. I roll around a lot, but I've never actually worn earplugs when I've gone to sleep. And I've tried to wear earbuds with like the wired ones, like if I wanted to go to sleep and just listen to something, but
choke yourself out.
It's like, this is not going to work. It's a nice try, but it's not going to work. So I would like to try those ones, actually. We should get them to sponsor the show so we can get some free ones. I don't know if that's how that works.
I think they cost more than the smartwatch.
Dang
or
it.
the Pebble, at least.
Well,
yeah.
Wow. I guess it's all that micronization of technology. Like, it's all got to fit inside the earbud, all this technology. Because they got to cram the technology inside.
You wait 1 year after it's introduced for most of the stuff, and then it becomes more mainstream. And once it becomes mainstream, that's when the price drops on everything. Because then it's like, everyone does it.
That's true. I can't wait that long. I gotta be right at the cusp. I gotta get
it
now.
now.
I gotta get it now.
I don't have the money for it now.
I somehow have to get it now, but I don't have the money for it now.
Soon.
Hopefully. There's some technology that interests me for our technology corner with the Pebble, which I don't care about, and the wireless headphones,
Only
which I
because
do
it's
care
a watch.
About. Only because it's a watch. It is true.
So if the headphones are a watch, you wouldn't care about it.
Yeah, if they put those headphones on my arm, nope. Not going to happen.
It works through bone conduction, so your ears are free. You just have to wear it on your wrist.
No. Why? Yeah, that'd be the downfall. I guess I just can't do it. Even if I've had nice watches in the past, and I just can't wear them because it just gets all nasty and stuff and unpleasant for everybody involved. So I wish I could.
What's that smell? It's my watch.
I wish I could wear watches because I always like, it looks cool. You have the watch, you look at it. What time is it? My watch. Although nowadays everyone just looks at their smartphone.
What you need is smart pocket watch. Same thing, but on a chain in your pocket.
Next to my phone.
Yes. So you have to pull that out of your pocket.
Oh, wait, I gotta move my phone to get to my smart pocket watch kind of thing. That'd be cool if I always wore like a vest.
And keep it in your breast pocket.
If I had it in the pocket there. Then it'd be like useful if I had it like that. But
and then you have like Google monocle.
Google
a smart monocle.
Oh,
and
there we go. I think a smart top hat.
Yes.
When you take it off, it automatically closes down. But when you have it up, it's Wi-Fi. You get a signal with it.
It's a hotspot.
It's a hotspot. You can charge people to tap into your hotspot.
And then it's solar powered, and if it starts getting hot outside, the fan turns on to keep your head cool.
I believe we have an adventure here.
Copyright, trademark, Talk Nights Podcast.
There you go.
You heard it here first.
You heard it here first. Smart top hat. Tell your friends.
It's retro smart steampunk.
It's very useful.
Looks cool. It's functional. And everyone will want it.
Everyone will want it. I want one.
Especially the hipsters.
Especially the hipsters. Comes with free ironic beard. Attachment.
Mustache.
There you go. Free stash with every purchase. For all you hipsters out there.
Yes.
Steampunky hipsters. Steampunk hipster? I liked steam before it was cool. Or I liked punks before they were cool.
I like being cool before being cool was cool.
There we go. Hipster.
Too hipster. Yeah, full hipster.
Divide by 0.
Okay.
You've created an anomaly. This cannot work.
No. What have you done? What have you unleashed upon this world?
And now we've reached the hipster portion of our podcast, which usually means I think we've reached the end of our podcast for today.
And because you said hipster.
And because you said hipster, it's time for viewer mail. Wait, no. We don't have viewers. We don't have views.
We don't have any feedback this time.
But you know what we do have this time, and I guess last time, we have a Facebook page.
It wasn't up concurrently last time. Well,
Fair
actually,
enough.
I published late, so technically it was. But
now we can officially say it's officially.
Yes.
What is it though? What is the actual? Is it like Facebook?
Facebook.com/Taco Nights Podcast.
Easy. It just rolls off the tongue.
Very easy.
And you can go over there and
Taco kNights Podcast.
yes, with the K.
If you see a taco dressed as a knight, you're at the right page.
You're on the right page. Go ahead and give us a like on the page so we know you're out there. You can continue to lurk, but you know.
It barely went up and you already got 7 likes. So that's cool.
So many likes. And we like that you like us.
I like it.
So go ahead, go to the
we
page.
All like it.
Give us a like. We really appreciate it. Lets us know that you're out there. Somebody's out there. Somewhere out there. Wait a second. I think that might be copyrighted. Can't use that. We'll have to bring that. But anyways, we do have the Facebook page. We also still have the Gmail, the email account.
So now it's easier to do the getting in touch with us.
Right. You don't have to go to the email. We still have
email us, post on...
But the post to Facebook probably easier.
Twitter.
We have the Twitter, which we...
Twitter is just Taco Nights.
No podcast
won't fit.
Because it does not fit.
So it's just Taco Nights. On Twitter.
On Twitter.
So at Taco Nights.
Now that we have the Facebook up, Corey is diligently working on the website where we can consolidate all our stuff into consolidation. We don't have...
I think we have an Instagram too.
Do we?
Yes.
Oh, we had a Tumblr.
I think we have that as well.
Mostly you can follow us on the Facebook. If you follow us on there, definitely going to work on keeping that up to date with any pictures and stuff we have. So I'm going to throw that up there. But yeah, that's the places to find us. Facebook, Gmail, Facebook. Did I say Facebook?
Yes.
Pretty cool. I like the page so far. Doesn't have a lot on it because we just started it, but we're getting there. We got someplace to go, so go ahead and throw us a like and follow us. Do you follow on Facebook?
And you know, if you put in kNights podcast, we're actually the top links on Google right now.
We are the top links on Google.
The first one is the Apple iTunes. The second one is Facebook.
We are number one on the Googles.
Google, contact us.
OG Plus account.
Well, I think that's the Google Sites that we first kind of put up. And then we kind of left that to go to Facebook and then get an official page. But at least Apple, Facebook, and Google. Yay!
So you can Google us and you'll find all of our stuff, apparently. The iTunes, the Facebook, and things. We're number one. We're number one. We're number one on the Googles, according to Google.
For our search
term. If you search exactly our search term, we are what comes up, which is amazing. We're finally somebody's on the Google. So yeah, reach out to us. Love to hear from you. Answer your questions on the air. If you had any questions, whatever you want, Ben will answer the question.
What?
See, there you go. I believe that's a yes.
Sure.
Oh.
And we actually have listeners from all around the world.
Literally
all around the world.
And that is amazing. I'm stunned.
I am.
I'm glad whoever is listening on the other parts of the world. Thanks.
So now we are an international podcast.
Do we put that somewhere? Do we get an
I think I mentioned in the opening.
Oh, right. Yes, there you go. We could throw that in the opening. Perfect.
Yeah, something about the opening,
Yes, you can't. I am so sorry. He cannot help himself. The man.
Taco Nights.
Lost his mind.
International. All around the world.
He's kind of on a thing. Just like that.
World.
Thanks for listening anyway. Hopefully you didn't shut it off before that in the opening. Opening didn't throw you off.
It makes sense if you listen to that prank call.
Which we did not run. But I guess we should probably link that on the Facebook so then they'll know why where we're coming from with that one. But yeah, that
might be a good idea, actually.
Yeah, I think so. And with that brings us to the end of this episode of the podcast. I've been your host, Keikoa, and my fellow Rochacho, Ben, on the mic. You trying so desperately to get... You lost it. You had it.
Trying.
All right, okay, here we go again. And my Brochacho Ben. There.
Adios, Brochachos.
You almost had it the first time.
Almost.
Yeah. But it's still good. It's still
got
good
a little click happy.
But it's just, yeah. Thanks for listening. Until next time. You can't see me. My time is now. In case you forgot or fell off, I'm still